Hello and welcome to Randomer Nintendo number 81. It's been a minute since you've seen us. This is the first episode.
They hear us.
That's true, since they've heard us. Yes, and this is our first episode.
They could see us.
ADPP, which is after Pokopia's premiere release, and our last episode. Wait, what would the acronym be here? BMGM, our last episode before Mario Galaxy movie. So we're in that sweet spot of post-Pokemon pre-Mario, and I'm going to stop saying stupid stuff and just introduce you guys. I'm Jason.
It's impossible.
Thank you. You guys will keep me in check of my stupidity, and you guys are, for everyone listening. Angel.
Angel is here.
Kevin.
Kevin is checked out.
And Elvis.
So,
no third person comment from Elvis. Interesting. Anyway, hi guys. Yeah, it's been we did our recording cycle is a little different than it used to be. I don't know what that will mean in terms of when these episodes go live. We used to try and do like Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes it spill into Thursday. But we are, for the first time since I think the pandemic era, recording on a Friday night.
oh,
So
Because the feelings are right. Am I
you are correct.
Everybody?
You are right.
That's the
yes.
song.
But yeah, so how are you guys? Yeah, he was just randomly saying it. How are you guys doing on this lovely Friday evening?
Don't
all talk at once.
See, I was gonna say that joke, but thought it was too hacky.
Oh, no,
I mean, I'm the guy that started with fake AD and BC time spans for Nintendo events, so I'm already hacky and weird. So, if anyone would say it, it would be me.
No, you have to say it.
I did say it. It's been said. We're past me
Kevin,
saying it.
Kevin.
You guys. Oh,
Not you. You can say that. Oh,
Wait,
damn.
what are we
guys,
doing?
this is the rockiest start. My guy.
Well, you know, we're out of practice.
So-
it's been like, you know how it's been.
it's
I
been
know
a
it's been a
month.
month. It's been a month.
Yeah,
a
like-
lot has happened in that month. A
forgot we
lot
had a
has
podcast.
happened. Actually, you're not the only one. When I was like, "It's 9:00, guys," Angel seemed very surprised. So
I mean,
9
to be
o'clock is when we're
fair,
supposed
like,
to record.
yeah, because like, I mean, I got home a little later than usual, and by the time I was done eating, it was already 9, and I just completely forgot. I knew the podcast was coming up until I think I finished eating, and then I was like, oh shoot, like I need another like 30 minutes, and then yeah, and, you know, I mean, we got here.
And 30 became 40, and here we all, or another 40 on top of the 30, and we're all just living our best lives of not telling me how you're doing. So I'll ask again, how are you guys doing?
I've been good. I mean, yeah, we're coming at the end of March, and even just looking at my calendar, I've been making sure to, when I clear out space for, I guess we'll say, leisure time, I have been better about committing to it. Like, I can't remember the last time I came home and was just able to watch something. And I won't talk about it on this podcast. I'll save it for maybe the next one. But I've been able to...
For my other show that I'm introducing today called...
Yeah, because I don't even know if I've brought it up. Maybe I have. But I've been watching Only Murders in the Building. Like, I started watching it earlier this year. Maybe very late last year. Like, I want to say Jason maybe recommended it a long time ago. I did not realize it was that old. And by old, I mean like from like 2021 or 2020? I don't know.
As old as when we last recorded on a Friday. Yep.
It was a pandemic baby show.
It was a show that came out of the pandemic, or it was in tandem with the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, and I fell in love with it almost immediately. Like, and now I'm on season 4, and I just started season 4, and I'm still just very much into it. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good to consume media on the side besides like the stuff you move your calendar for, like Bonanza or stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much for me. Just
Well, that's
chilling.
nice that you've had that leisure time.
Yeah, it's been chill.
How about you guys, Alice and Kevin? Are you as chill?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
Excuse you, sir. I think you mean freaking or frickin'.
God damn it!
Is it with Express?
Well, as long as you have the
I
timestamp,
feel
I'm
like
pretty sure
Elvis
it's
is-
easier for Kevin.
Elvis is on. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, at
that
least do me
Elvis
the
is on
favor
Vendetta.
of writing down the timestamp for me, please.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Elvis is on a mission to make Kevin have to spend as much time as possible editing this. So
It's like around.
I'm
4
guessing there's
minutes.
going to be a lot of
No,
bleeps.
I need Don't get me
I didn't
around.
keep track of that. At 10:10, when did we start?
Okay, so to clarify, we
Well,
have
you
Angel
have a
who's chill,
counter
we have
on
Kevin
Audacity.
who's currently not chill, and we have Elvis who is whatever he is.
Yeah, so I think that one was like in the 4-minute 44-second around that time.
Yeah, I think 4:55 maybe, somewhere around there. Okay.
Baby's first podcast. Aw.
I was gonna say like how many
But okay,
times
so we
will it be
we-
before Kevin breaks? And then it's like
That's what I'm wondering. So I mean, I already was saying, it
You're
seems like we have
wondering?
multiple chill
Jason's the-
people, and then we have Kevin who was I feel like teetering on the edge the more that Elvis curses. So
That's like
Alright,
that
well, I'll
Linkin
keep
Park song,
takes from now
Closer.
on.
did you say that Linkin Park song "Closer"? That's Nine Inch Nails.
Wait, really?
The one that's like I'm gonna f you like an animal. That is absolutely not.
No, I need a little
Linkin
to
Park.
breathe. I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. Isn't it?
Oh, well, that's one step closer, not just closer.
Oh God. Huh. I thought it was just called
I
Closer.
do appreciate
Wow.
that
You-
you self-censored, even though,
Of course.
thank you.
I'm looking out for you. I got your back in these trying times.
But the bleep would
Then
have
how are
been
you-
funnier.
He can still bleep it. Like he could do.
Yeah,
whatever he
but then
wants.
this entire conversation just doesn't make any sense anymore.
This entire conversation barely made sense the second we started recording. To be
That's a
fair,
good point.
the second I started saying before Mario Galaxy movie, but after Pokopia premiere, it was already. Once I started to
You
make
got
up
the
time
backwards.
periods, it didn't make sense. Yeah. It's been a lost cause.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But anyway, Kevin, what's new with you?
Nothing
shit.
new.
Okay.
I mean, don't what?
Did he just curse again?
I legit thought that conversation was going like, okay, let's start it over. So, but
No,
I
no.
didn't stop it. I was
Elvis, do you have a swear jar in your proximity? A jar that you can put a piece of tape on that
I
says
was supposed to
swear.
timestamp. I don't know.
Because I
it's
think you owe.
7
I
minutes.
think
Just
the
put
amount
the
of
present one
effort
and
you're
they'll find
gonna,
it.
the amount of effort you're about to make Kevin go through, I feel like he needs to get
4
money
minutes.
back in terms of coins in a swear jar.
I put
Just
like
saying.
4 minutes, 7 minutes, and question marks next to them. Okay.
Thank you.
That's what I do with Jason on the docket sometimes, or just question marks and no number.
Oh yeah,
at all.
or you'll just put like he basically puts the equivalent of a shrugging emoji sometimes. I'm like, I guess I'll find the time instead. All right, that's fine.
You
I've
listen
been
to it.
great.
Yeah, that's good, Kevin. I'm glad to hear. Anything new or exciting going on with you to share?
No, nothing to share. Just FYI, listener, it is my fault that we're switching over to this new schedule. So, if you want to throw blame to anybody, throw it at me. You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
No blame needed. If anything, you could tell that Friday night is way looser and crazier for us because this has 8 minutes of essentially nonsense.
Oh,
so.
you know what? You know what?
I see the timer now.
Speaking-
I see the timer now. This is gonna be easy.
There's no goddamn way. You just saw the timer.
The bottom left. I was going by like the spikes in the audio and see where it is, where it lands.
Brother.
So you were trying to zoom in on sound
Wait.
waves?
Yeah,
this whole
'cause-
time?
Well, it's zoomed
That's
out,
what-
but like,
yeah,
but
the
I could
timer
probably
that you
just
use
out
when
on
it-
sound
no,
waves.
it's
Is
not,
that better or
no.
worse?
I'm just saying it's zoomed out in general. But I just look at where I
Mm.
spoke. I'm like, I think this is where I swear.
How do you think we find whenever Jason stops the train
Talks.
because of his computer,
Mm.
and we're able to go to 8:52 or whatever? Oh no, we do use the top. Never
We need to
mind.
explain. Hold on, we need to explain that. I don't think we've talked about it on the show before.
Really?
So
It's never-
occasionally, my laptop, which I'm hoping to eventually replace.
Replace occasionally with
Uh,
often.
No, there's a stretch right there, but it would just randomly stop recording, and then everyone has to stop. We have to resync our timestamps and start it because we're all recording remotely. So yeah, it disrupts the flow. Yeah,
Random.
fun drinking game for those at home. Figure out where in every episode we had to catch back up and reset. Because sometimes in some episodes it's multiple times.
I feel
Through,
like
through the
seamless.
magic of editing, I'm able to sometimes
it
make
very
it
well.
seem seamless.
Yeah. It's
Has
props
there ever
to
been an
Kevin.
obvious one?
No, because we try really
no.
hard not to be.
Yeah, I want to say no.
Yeah.
Like when it gets really bad, we will just go back so much that we have to redo a whole conversation because we have to find a part where no one's talking or something like that.
Yeah, we've definitely put on our acting chops on a couple occasions. Yeah. I mean, it's never been like, no way.
Yeah, but
they
sometimes
did
you miss a
that,
genuine
like, twice,
reaction,
but-
and that's always kind of unfortunate
Yeah.
if we lose a genuine
Yeah.
surprise.
So if anyone if no one's aware this has happened, that means we should win, I think, Oscars next year, Golden Globes.
I think they're called potties. Potties?
Actually, the Golden Globes have a podcast category now, best podcast, and it's all the nominees are celebrities. So one of us has to get famous, and then we'll be nominated. Yeah. And iHeartRadio, I think, has a best podcast as well. So, and we're on iHeartRadio.
Oh,
if you're listening out there, iHeartRadio.
Well, you could be nominated.
Wouldn't the radio station itself already like kind of it's already doing half the job of being a podcast already by talking into a mic and to people?
Yeah, and they could just put us on Kiss FM here in LA and make $0. Lose money actively by putting us on the radio. But we are on their app. We are in the podcast section of their app. So
we need to get on Shadow Raid's radar first before anything. That's like the you made it.
Yeah, well, if we want sponsor,
yeah,
you don't have it. See, he can't say the right name because then they would have to. We want them to pay
the
us.
Shadow
So
Raid.
I'm not gonna do free.
He's not gonna just say the name. Then why are they paying us? We're plugging them.
Oh, good point. Damn.
Come on, obvious. But I will say, if we're talking about like the schedule change and how we're switching and all the dilemmas we've had and how weird this episode is, I will say I feel like we picked a weird time to do the switch because I was in such like a Pokemon mode. Oh, haha. I was in such like a Pokemon mode like a month ago, and now I'm like completely Mario. But for this episode, we have to kind of switch back to like Pokemon to catch up with the stuff we missed. So it's like because there was like start of March when we would have done this episode. It was like full court press Pokemon 30th anniversary, Super Bowl ad, Pokemon Day, Winds and Waves announcement, Pokopia's release, and then like since then it completely 180'd for me anyway. Now it's all just like Mario Galaxy movie marketing these past weeks. Like my brain can't seem to do both.
Before we get into it,
yeah,
because I was done with my spiel, by the way, before you got into yours.
I didn't know there was more to spiel. Please carry on.
I'm going to do a random Nintendo first. And I am going to be getting progressively drunker as the episode goes.
Friday night, baby!
I am going to slam this bottle of soju, and we will see where the night takes us.
Man, if we're doing it on Friday, that means it's something we could do because it's not a work night. It's always
true. Cheers, fellas.
Oh man!
It's funny. I do have a drink here. It is bubbly, but not alcohol. It is literally bubbly, the sparkling water. But sure, you know what? Well, cheers.
Hey, you know what? Soju's a little more harder to just chug.
You didn't know Jason was clenching a fist.
About what? The beer? The soju?
Keeping it PG, bringing alcohol into this.
Well, I mean, you can turn on a sitcom on NBC and they talk about alcohol. It's fine.
Well, that's true.
I don't think there's any 8-year-olds that are going to be like, oh my God, my hero of the random Nintendo, Kevin, is having soju. Now I'm going to have soju too.
Yeah, there's one thing I've learned. Jason is very hard on TV rules.
Whoa.
He's hard on TV rules. Right? Is that how you say it?
I am a hardliner, I think is what you're trying to say, on sticking to if we're saying we're not.
Yeah, like what you use as your barometer.
Then we're not.
Yeah, TV rules is your barometer.
Alcohol's okay. Alcohol's legal. It's fine. We're all adults here.
Family friendly.
It doesn't seem like we're. Let me tell you how it doesn't seem like we're adults.
What about
at least for me?
Other substances.
If they're legal, you could talk about them. But let's legal at a federal level, maybe we should say. But no, I mean, we are all adults here, even though I today got a Happy Meal at McDonald's because it came with a Mario Galaxy toy. That happened.
I was pretty close.
But we're adults otherwise.
I was in McDonald's.
What was that?
I was in McDonald's too.
Did you get that? Did you get a Happy Meal? Who'd you get? Which character?
No, I was, but then I ended up going to the Chinese food stop.
Oh, because you were like a real adult. I see. Yeah.
But I could.
But no, I mean, in my defense,
I was looking for the bigger one because I thought there was like a little baby one and then like a bigger one.
There's no. In America, they're only doing the Happy Meal. There's no bigger thing.
Oh.
In Latin America, they're doing like coins you can get.
Yeah, that's
meal,
what I
like
was
an
thinking.
adult
Yeah.
meal. Here, they're instead doing a K-pop Demon Hunters meal. For adults.
Okay. I was looking for the coin one. Like we're still adults.
Yeah, I wish it was here. I want that coin. That coin is cool. Instead, I got Peach.
And since I didn't
Princess Peach,
that's
a 6-inch tall little
Chinese.
Princess Peach. But yeah, I mean, I've been like, dude, I have like a problem. The amount of stuff that's like my Mario Galaxy, like getting the Happy Meal, drinking the bubbly here. Those are barely. I've been like going around LA finding like advertisements with like giant inflatable Lumas. I've been like, I mean, well, Elvis, you know, we're about to go to Florida and go to Nintendo World. So I've been planning that for right after the movie and seeing the movie again down there. I've been buying like, no, good luck. I've been buying. I never thought I'd buy Mr. Beast's candy, but I gotta try the white chocolate Yoshi eggs, and I have like strawberry galactic marshmallow Mario Galaxy Lucky Charms in my pantry downstairs.
Oh, you actually bought all that stuff?
No, I bought about 2/3 of it. I put on the cart. So to explain it, I posted a thing on my socials the other day of a shopping cart full of Mario Galaxy products. Yeah. So it was the Old Spices. It was the cereals.
You got the Old Spices?
The Bubblies. No, that's why I ended up not getting. And when I put them in the cart, I was like, why not? This will be funny. I'll get all of them. And then as I was like filling the cart, I was like, oh, actually, I shouldn't do the Old Spices because the cats here at my apartment, they really like the smell of my soap. Like they really like anytime I take a shower, they immediately come and like sit on my lap and be like purring up a storm and super happy. So if I were to change my scent to Galactic Starship or whatever it's called, I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to the cat. So I ended up putting the Old Spice back, but I did buy the cereal. I did buy all 3 flavors of bubbly. Like I said, I have one right here, Meteor Melon.
Have to use the shampoo.
But what am I gonna do with it otherwise? Like at least the other stuff I'm like eating. And I got a photo. I got the product.
So basically, Jason got activated.
Yeah,
like
Meteor
some
Melon,
sleeper
guys.
agent.
Watermelon Live. What?
So basically,
It
Jason
is
got
in there,
activated, I guess, or you've been fully activated.
I mean, I feel like the Mario Day final trailer for the Mario movie, and we're not going to talk anything that could be potentially spoilers. Listen, I know Nintendo loves just spoiling stuff about the movie now. I mean, the stuff they announced this week, I would have loved to not know until I saw it in a theater. To be fair, one of the announcements got them like 30 million views on that tweet alone. So clearly, from a marketing perspective, it's probably smart of them to share it. But
Damn, that means
I wish they didn't. So we're not going to talk about that. But I will say, when they did the final Mario Day trailer, and then they're like, and here's the rest of the voice cast, and they were like, well, my favorite artist, Donald Glover, aka Mr. Childish Gambino, is Yoshi. That was probably some sort of sleeper agent activation in me. Like, because now I have double fandoms happening, and I just went full force. Like, everything Mario I'm consuming, everything Mario I'm doing. I don't drink sparkling water normally, but now I have all 3 flavors. I have the dragon fruit one, I have the berry vanilla one, and I have Meteor Melon right here, which I've yet to really try. Watermelon lime. I'm going to try it right now, actually.
Yeah, I don't like how Yoshi sounds.
It's not bad. Actually, it's the smoothest of the 3. The berry, so there's a cosmic one, which is berry vanilla, and that's very sweet. There's the dragon fruit one, which is dragon fruit pineapple, and that's sweet in a different way. That's very tropical. And then there's this watermelon lime one, which kind of just tastes like Sprite with a watermelon aftertaste, but diluted Sprite because it's sparkling water. So, like, all things considered, it's not bad, actually. This might be my favorite of the 3, the Meteor Melon.
Yeah, when I had those
but it's neat because...
Yeah, when I had
Yeah, go
those,
ahead.
I did not really get any of what you described. They thought tasted like carbonated water with like a hint of some kind of fruity flavor, but just not enough for me to pick it up. But
I mean, that's all these sparkling, LaCroix and bubbly and all them. That's all they are.
Yeah.
If you want the more flavorful are sparkling ice, and the real flavorful ones are like soda, basically. But yeah, it's these are more like hints of flavor.
yeah, they're
So it's
sad to
not
drink. But
Bad.
You sound like you're trying to get sponsored.
No, it's Mario Galaxy and it's relevant. The fun thing with these cans, though, not sponsored. # not spawn. Fun thing about these cans is they took the technology from beer cans. Like if you get Coors and you put it in the fridge and the can turns blue to tell you it's cold, they took that and I think they put it on the cans here because the Luma on the can changes colors when it's cold. So each Luma on the can is one color and each can's a different color for a different flavor, and then the Luma becomes a different color when it's cold, or at least a brighter color, it seems. So that's kind of neat.
Do time lapse.
Thanks, beer innovations. But anyway, yeah, so that's... Unless you guys have anything you want to say about the Mario movie, I feel like that's next episode, and this one we're somehow circling back to. Besides all the other things we'll talk about, be it Hoppers or Scrubs or Jujutsu Kaisen or whatever you guys have on your list, I feel like a big cornerstone of this episode is going to end up being Pokemon. And Mario will come next time. But is there anything, Mario, you guys wanted to touch on before we get into stuff?
not off the top of my head. Just as I've said before, I was on a total media blackout for the Mario movie. Like the fact that I only found out recently-ish that Bowser Jr. was in it because... No, not that Bowser Jr. was in it. I think I knew that because I remember seeing the voice actor, or that was talked about. Like, I mean, it was kind of... I don't remember how I found out. I just knew Bowser Jr. was in it from the beginning. But I didn't know... I didn't see him in anything promotional, so I didn't know the form he took until recently because of Target.
Until you saw a bus stop ad.
Oh, no,
Target.
No, yeah, I saw it in Target. And then I saw the bus stop ad, like, you know, because it's right by work. But yeah, then there was a thing that Nintendo spoiled recently that, like, you guys, like, basically preemptively made it ready. Like oh, yeah, like, there's something that that even you guys were like, oh, just like a little miffed at. And then other coworkers telling me, like, oh, yeah, like, try to avoid every social media place. And then sure enough, someone at work, I thought, like, it was a safe space. I just posted, like, it's like, oh, this would have been nice to, like, not get spoiled. And then, you know, they basically spoiled it by doing that, which, you know, kind of sucked.
Which Elvis had a great comment, too. You texted something like, he's dragging everyone down with him, the guy that didn't want to be spoiled. Or something like that. Well, if I'm spoiled, you're all coming with me.
That is pretty funny.
If I'm going down, we're all going down, I suppose.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, again, I guess from a marketing perspective, I see why Nintendo did that.
Yeah, but everybody was rather like...
It's not like the movie wasn't gonna... Like, the movie's tracking to do like $175-180 million over its opening weekend, the 5-day one, I think. So, like, I don't know why they couldn't wait and pull a Marvel and announce it right after opening weekend or something, and then announce the voice actor. But clearly people are interested. I've seen multiple people online being like, I wasn't going to see it initially. Like, I'm an older Nintendo fan. I was going to see it initially. But now I need to know what's going on with this character. So I'm going opening weekend. No, I've seen multiple people on Reset Era.
They just wanted
forums straight up say that. Yeah,
they were going to watch it.
Maybe.
Anyway.
But they might watch.
Yeah, they're going to watch it. They're liars.
Yeah, but maybe not opening weekend. I don't know. But,
for that character,
man,
that's the one that's going to be
this character. That's probably in the movie for all of 5 minutes. I can't. I got to see this opening weekend. Like, get out of here.
I would prefer they did not spoil that. Yeah, I would prefer to not.
Since he gets his own poster, he might be a little bit more integral to it.
He's right in the beginning.
I do wonder.
Like, that'd be pretty cool.
I mean,
it would be
gets killed off within the first 5 minutes. That would be
that'd be the saddest.
I would be dogfight.
No.
I think they could do that for comedic.
That'd be horrible.
You know what?
That would be really funny, but also that'd be so mean to fans. That'd be so mean. Oh, you thought he was back? No.
I would forgive him for that type of spoil. Like what a build up.
That would be really funny.
That's like that's actually perfect.
There is a part of me that thinks they're setting him up to be the Donkey Kong equivalent in this movie, where like he'll be a role that they can then spin off into its own thing and then do games after for the extra marketing. Because, I mean, today, if we're talking about things that companies are revealing and not revealing, so today there's a Nintendo leaker named Nate the Hate who's like really accurate about everything. Like shockingly accurate. And I'm kind of mad he did this because it's a little more than just dropping hints. He just straight up revealed Nintendo's lineup for the rest of the year. At least as he understands it. I'm talking about the Switch 2 editions of Switch 1 games. I'm talking about the big holiday game. I'm talking about new classic style Star Fox coming to Switch 2 this summer. So if that's true, which it probably is because he's
another
accurate,
one? Didn't they learn the lesson from Star Fox Zero that no one wants Star Fox?
Well, Star Fox Zero was not a classic Star Fox. It had the wonkiest controls.
It was trying to be 64 though, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, with weird dual screen situation. But anyway, so whatever that turns into this summer, like clearly him being in the movie is setting up for a very easy transition of fans who don't know who this guy is to being like, oh my God, a guy got Switch 2 for his game. So I'm mad, much like Donkey Kong was in the first movie and then transitioned everyone into, you know, his comeback with Bonanza and being at Super Nintendo World. So I could kind of see them wedging in like that for this movie, but
we need another Assault game.
I mean, I don't even know like to what extent when he says classic Star Fox.
No,
that was the GameCube one. Yeah. That was GameCube. I actually kind of like Command. I know most people don't, and they didn't like the strategy element, like the map with the strategies. I actually kind of like. I thought it was pretty cool for what it was. Like,
that much strategy to it, but it was fun.
2 levels.
Yeah, well, I mean, you like picked your paths and like stuff like that. Not pick your path. It was more than pick your path. There's some other element I'm forgetting.
Yeah,
but
you scrub away the fog of war.
Command.
Yeah, the fog. It was fog of war stuff.
Yeah, the fog of war. Yeah,
that game got surprisingly hard.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
I liked it.
actually. Star Fox games are the games I generally actually beat. At least the simpler, like the more straightforward ones, like 64 and Command. But
Yeah, because I think
Yeah,
a playthrough of Command and 64, just obviously one playthrough is like about an hour. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean,
and that's why I
but
can
they're
beat
meant
it.
to be replayed.
Exactly, it's like a high score attack type of thing. It was a roguelike before roguelikes in a way, sorta, not really, but the looping gameplay idea, kinda.
Yeah, like none of it's randomized. It's you're supposed to memorize
Nothing
everything.
except
It
the
was
fact that you go
nothing
back and
roguelike
play
at
it
all.
again. It's like a roguelike. But yeah, so I imagine whatever. True. But whatever extent Nate the Hate's right about exactly what type of Star Fox this is, I think, yeah, he is. This is kicking off a big IP revival, which is something that, like, I didn't think the
was
rumors
there anything
were
of note?
true.
I don't know who this Nate the Hate is, nor any of what he was
there's
apparently revealing
Well,
today.
so
Ocarina
you
of
said
Time
it,
remake.
Elvis. Yeah. So they're going to do a remake of Ocarina of Time as a big holiday game, supposedly. And then in between, we're
like
going
Resident Evil status.
I have no
or like
idea.
3DS again.
It's
I
a
would
really good
say
question.
so. No, there's no
I
way
don't think
they
it's going to be
just do
that. It's not going to be
3DS.
that far, but they can't just carbon copy. I guess they could carbon copy the original structure again, but that feels a
They're
little.
just going to remaster the
dated now.
3DS version, and that's it.
But like,
No.
no, it has to be It's somewhere between. I feel like it's going to land somewhere between like just a remaster and a restructuring, but it's not going to be a full, complete overhaul in the way of like Resident Evil. I don't think. I don't know, because like the game is like, if this is a big flagship holiday game that's like, hey, it's Zelda. It's just a carbon copy of what it was before going to work.
Yeah, but do you
I don't
think
know.
they're
Or is
just
it gonna be like a
gonna-
Final Fantasy VII
I'm putting my
remake
finger
style
on Resident Evil
yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
we already got the better, cool, newer version with the 3DS and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very true. And then also they would like the way they're sort of there is this sort of the way the chips are falling with Switch 2 lineups and with the games in general is you either have full new Switch 2 exclusive experiences or you have these games you're familiar with that are kind of enhanced for Switch 2, right? Like the Switch 2 editions. And granted, it's all been Switch 1 games coming to Switch 2 with like updated graphics or whatever. But I feel like if they're like, here's an exclusive, entirely new Switch 2 game that actually is just the old 3DS game, that kind of makes it muddier that like Switch 2 edition means it's an older game with prettier graphics, but then a full Switch 2 exclusive is like a new experience. Like I feel like it's going to be something newer than just a carbon copy of the structure. Yeah. More Resident Evil style. But Nate the Hate also like spoiled essentially what all the Switch 2 editions coming later this year might be. Pikmin 4, Nintendo Switch Sports. I think there's one other, but like it's cool, but like I wish he didn't just say, like it used to be you get like a cryptic tweet the day before a direct, and now he's just like, well, here's what to expect from summer through the end of the year. And he even went on to go, and a 3D Mario will be coming in 2027. It's just like, dude, like I understand the desire for people to know these things. I understand we haven't gotten a Nintendo Direct, and they're kind of sitting on that until June probably because they have the Mario movie marketing, especially if they're using the Mario movie to then announce shortly thereafter a Star Fox game. But like there's people that spend months planning these rollouts and trying to do surprises and cadences and stuff where like it could be like Nintendo likes to surprise people with these directs, like to make the announcement fun in and of itself. It kind of sucks that
Dude,
he took the
imagine
wind
the
out of those
surprise
sails.
that people would have had if they didn't know that Star Fox was in the movie. Like
That's
that's
the thing.
that's the
It cuts
point
both
where
ways.
I'm
It
like,
cuts
I don't
both
care.
ways.
Like Nintendo, no, you don't deserve to get your stuff leaked, but like you can't have.
Yeah,
you
I'm not
can't have it
happy
both
they
ways.
did that with the movie. Yeah, no, I think the timing of it, like especially with Star Fox, you raised a very good point. If Nintendo one day is like, well, we're just going to tell you he's in the movie, and then the next day Nintendo's like, oh, but you should have told them about the game. Like, ultimately, it's Nintendo's product, they market it how they want, but like they can't pick and choose how they want to surprise fans without upsetting some fans or making other fans like it's have their cake and eat it too at that point. You're right, but
mean,
but as a fan, it does suck to know basically what I'm expecting in the June Direct and beyond. Like, it's exciting. I love that it's coming back, like Star Fox coming back, but I feel bad for the people that are actually doing like the legwork at Nintendo. I feel bad for myself because I kind of like have it spoiled. Same with the movie. I'm annoyed that they revealed a couple things, not just Fox. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird wishy-washy thing.
I guess
For me, anyway.
The new Star Fox game is only one where like maybe I would have liked to seen it in a direct, but All the other ones is like, oh, surprise, surprise, Pikmin 4. Like, oh, and then like,
Yeah, I mean that's not huge. I think Ocarina would have been a big like,
Like,
whoa,
whoa, new
if it
Mario!
was-
Wow.
yeah, like Mario. I'm sure they're working on Mario. Yeah.
I still
Well, yeah,
remember.
that's not coming
I
till next
remember being annoyed. Like this was like back when we were still just random Nintendo, and one of the leakers was like, "Oh, right now in development is a new Mario and a new Zelda game from Nintendo," and I'm like, "Jesus, like what the heck? Like why is that even news?"
Yeah, I mean,
like it just felt so.
yeah. There's also
like the fact that it was like being reported on like some kind of like, like Inside Scoop or something just felt like just eye rolling.
yeah,
Rolling
that one
could've
was
said that.
silly.
Yeah,
And
it's
there's
yeah.
like you know
They just decided
like a
to stop
hierarchy to
making
these
those
leaks,
games
though.
for some reason.
forever. Yeah, no, but there's like a hierarchy to stuff. Like I remember leaks in the mid Switch era, like middle of the Switch times, of like EDA Tokyo, the Mario Galaxy and Odyssey team are making some sort of 3D Donkey Kong. There will be a revival of Donkey Kong. Like there were rumblings of that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. That's a dormant IP of sorts outside the 2Ds. Maybe something happens, and then it kind of fell to the wayside. And then Bonanza eventually came around, and the rumor was right, the leak was right, but it was so far removed that it was still like an exciting reveal.
There's also that
But to
other
have,
side where it's
like-
like, well, if you say something, it could eventually be true if it's plausible enough. Like, I don't know what I did.
No, but specifically
like,
EAD
mentally.
Tokyo, and the rumor was they were doing it based off something.
I don't know.
Which is true.
I
The
still stand by my
voxels,
point.
They talked about it at GDC. The voxels specifically in Odyssey is what were experimented on and then inspired Bonanza. And the leak at the time was the Odyssey team is doing something using something from they found something in Odyssey that they're trying to turn into a new Donkey Kong. So expect a Donkey Kong before Mario from them.
I don't know.
And then that's what happened.
that still just feels like
So that's a
something
little
anyone
more
could say.
specific.
I mean, to me, it does. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I did or like what kind of like mental like blockage I did at some point. Like, I think I was just like really, really fed up with leaks and rumors. Like, speculation is a whole other thing. I can appreciate speculation, but
Yeah.
like just like rumors or like oh this is coming out. I don't know why, but like no matter how trustworthy like you guys say like this thing is, or even how true it could be, like it just I just can't process it as anything but like. It's just like I don't know. Maybe it's like a self-defense mechanism that is just like it's just automatically
Yeah.
like dismissed. Like this is just like dead air. Like to me, like in my brain, like all these rumors and stuff.
And that's
like
great
until,
because that
like
means
until
that
Nintendo
surprises could
says
still be
anything,
surprises.
like it's like why even entertain it? Yeah. It could also just
Right.
maybe be like also finally working in the industry, just like being annoyed more by rumors. That could also be a point to it. But yeah. I don't know.
And I will say, like, in of itself, if it was just a leak and you had to be on, like, the inside track of, like, checking the Nintendo blogs or, like, following the right guy on Twitter, then sure, yeah, it's like, okay, okay, you can sidestep, you can ignore it. The Star Fox one and the Ocarina one, Complex, like, pop culture website, like, rap culture website Complex was posting about Star Fox coming back. Like, it, like, went wide, like, really wide. So even if it's, like, the kernel of it was this one leaker, like it's become like a big story now that's hard to avoid if you're just like online. Like it's been Star Fox was trending this morning, like again after the poster yesterday. Like it's really interesting how quickly this particular set of stuff has spread because of the reliability of this guy. And I think that's partly what's almost more frustrating about it is this guy knows he wields this power of like being accurate, and he didn't sort of play coy like he has in the past. He was like, screw it. Just gonna go all in and just literally outline the entire back half of the year. Even to the level of like Splatoon Raiders will be coming this summer. It's like, we know it exists. You don't need to tell us when it's coming. Like, why are you telling us? Like, it's fine. We know it's coming this year. You don't need to specify. It's just, it's a lot.
I think that
So-
one is a little less egregious. Like, who cares? Like, we already knew that it was coming this year. Cool, it's coming out in the summer. I have something to look forward to in the summer instead of like, oh, is this going to come out towards the end of the year? You know, like I think that would be less egregious.
No, that's fair. I guess I just mean like he wasn't just like leaking new things. He was basically giving the entire Nintendo Direct equivalent breakdown of what to expect each season, what's being announced, when we'll be able to play it. Like that. That's what I mean. It wasn't just
he
like
leaks
I
the
heard there's a
Nintendo Direct script.
I feel like we're like a step away from that. I feel like this guy must be the guy that writes them. I don't know. Like it was just so detailed.
Get ready to
So-
raid in, and then the little transition. Yeah, they always have this little.
Oh, and then occasionally he'll be like, but I don't know the extent to which they're like how much of a remake Ocarina of Time will be. Like he'll throw in like a little like I don't know everything, but then he reveals like all their
It's
schedule.
about time,
It's funny.
everybody. Ding, and then it's like,
Oh, I would love to write the transitions for Nintendo Directs. That'd be so fun. I'd be so good at it, I feel like.
That was the lowest
speaking of
viewership ever.
transitions. It's like, wow, this guy sucks. But speaking of transitions, I feel like we're due for one into some of the topics we actually should be talking about this episode that are on our docket. I feel like I was talking a lot, but Pokemon is a very big thing this episode. So, Angel, do you want to kick off some Pokemon conversation with your thoughts on the game? I know you're curious about Pokemon Champions.
What? Yeah, I will.
Great.
God.
People were pretty mad about,
That could have gone a couple of ways with Angel.
That could have gone side. It was a gamble. That's the bold store transitioning that gets you the Nintendo Direct job. So Nintendo, you know where to find me.
Well, I'm glad I didn't disappoint or anger, or whatever other emotion that was potentially leading to. But yeah, Pokemon Champions. I don't remember when this was initially announced, but I am very happy that it basically sounds like exactly what I wanted. And I was out, and I also watched a video from someone who I guess is very a notable figure in the competitive Pokemon scene. Someone named like Wolfie something, like 3 letters. Because they actually got to play Pokemon Champions. Like they got invited to some event and they got to demo for like 45 minutes. So they were able to get like a bigger...
Oh, that's cool. It's at PAX East. If any listeners are in Boston right now, it's at PAX East.
Maybe that
well.
was it. But yeah, so they were able to get like a little more insights, and like because they're a very competitive player, they were specifically trying to like, get as many of their own questions answered, and they were able to figure some stuff out. But essentially, this is straight up just a Pokemon simulator, which is really awesome. Like, you basically have 2 ways of playing it. You can import Pokemon from past games, and technically you're not importing them, they're visiting. You're like have like a save state of that Pokemon in there because they're still going to be in home, so you can still put them in another RPG. But you can store, which is kind of surprising, I think like initially like 30 Pokemon, but for like an additional like $7 for like a starter pack, you could get like I think like 20 more storage slots worth of Pokemon. And then if you get like the premium year pass, I think it's like $40 a year about, you get like an additional 50 slots, which still to me doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, it maybe
No,
it's a lot,
I remember
but
people were like pretty mad about that. Like, what? Like,
it seems like a little bit.
limited. You'd think that, but then like someone was also saying like I think the base storage was like 30 Pokemon, and that's like 5 competitive teams. Like I've only ever had like 2 competitive teams. Like 2.
No, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, to be fair, like, but because we also had like a ton of storage in the base game, I remember at some point I just started like just making like any Pokemon I liked enough. I just started just breeding like perfect versions of them. But yeah, like I guess as far as like purely competitive teams that I had, yeah, maybe it was like 3 or 4 at most. But yeah, so
it's already enough.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I will say too, in Pokemon Company's defense a little, their games, while they do a lot of the free to play stuff, and definitely Champions is so transparently, what if we did Pokemon Showdown or Pokemon Stand, but as a live service and officially? They're not that nickel and dimey with their games. Like, they're pretty even keeled.
Yeah, like
I imagine they're not going to be too like that limit. They probably have stats that show that that's actually a pretty reasonable one.
Yeah, and also like the pricing and everything I've seen so far like feels like fair, just because of like if I still play Pokemon competitively the way I did in the like Diamond Pearl, the Sun and Moon heyday, like it'd be like a Smash Brothers heyday kind of level of me just investing all my time into it. So $40 a year to get all these resources and just kind of like keep the ball moving feels perfectly fine. But yeah, like in a quick nutshell, it's confirmed that it is going to be like their hub for all their competitive battles. And you have your single battle, double battle, casual battle, ranked battles. It's going to be used for their VGC tournaments instead of using like the core game as like their competitive game, which is really cool. It just consolidates everything. You literally now have Go with as like you like to catch Pokemon, there you go. You like to battle Pokemon, here's Champions. You like the RPG? Do they have like a narrative, just purely narrative one? I guess.
Well, yeah, the mainline
Dungeon?
games at this point.
The
No, like the RPG,
I don't know,
wins and
they're
waves,
barely
waves and
like
wins and waves.
super heavily narrative driven. I mean, they're kind of like
Yeah, but they're
catch-all.
technically
They're
RPGs.
Yeah, and they're the narrative.
Yeah, they're
ones
they're the jack of
at this
all
point.
trades. But yeah, like I guess you do have spin-offs that like I said, Mystery Dungeon, where that one is like we want to tell this story, this very specific story. And I guess Detective Pikachu technically, but
Yeah, I mean that's clearly
yeah. But Pokemon
Like a
spins
visual
off
novel,
in a lot of crazy ways. Like you got your freaking match 3 puzzles and everything. But the part that got me really excited is that even if you don't have your Pokemon from home, you get like 10 that you get to pick from every day to recruit them, and it's temporary, and you can use victory points that you accrue from. Apparently you get a decent amount of victory points if you're doing the tutorials, and there's a lot of tutorials that explain the different types of weaknesses, like strategies, like preemptively changing to like a Pokemon that can resist an attack because you think your opponent might use that attack, or stuff like that. And and you could use those VPs to permanently recruit those Pokemon. And in the same way, that VP can also be used to just straight up, like training Pokemon in this game is just like, sliding bars. So if you want a Pokemon maxed out,
it's like Showdown, right? Like you just pick your stats.
Yeah. So
and you pick your what's not mood, what's it called?
Yeah,
nature.
You just straight up pick the nature. You pick out where you want all the EVs.
That's cool.
It's like a grid. If you want 252, it literally just spells it all out. Like, all right, how many EV points do you want in HP and attack speed? It's just, there it is. It's just like, we know this is what you wanted. It's super convenient.
That's
pretty
actually
awesome.
very cool.
And
it's
after
cool
seeing
they're
this,
embracing the fact that like if you want to be competitive, just here's the, like a la carte menu to be competitive.
That
like that's
so
actually
many
pretty
hours.
cool.
Yeah, like I think just out of principle, like, or just because I just love this idea so much, even if I don't come back, and I don't necessarily plan to come back to playing competitive Pokemon like I used to, I do find the idea of just going through the trouble of getting all my Pokemon that I have trained in the past into this app, just so they're all in one place that I could just look at them, or even just like play a casual game from time to time. Just really fun. So I definitely want to do that. And the only thing so far that, may or may not matter too much is that the competitive player that I mentioned, he noticed that IVs were not mentioned anywhere, which are individual values for those that don't know. And those are essentially randomly assigned to each Pokemon from like 0 to 31 for every single stat. And while they're randomized, 31, like I said, is the max. Once you get one at 31, you can essentially breed Pokemon until you could just get like perfect IVs, like 31 on all the stats, or just the stats that you want. Like, it's doable, and that's usually the part that takes the longest, and why all of a sudden I would have like boxes just full of like the same baby Pokemon, because we were looking for like the perfect IVs in a certain area. And by removing that, on one hand, it's like, cool, like it just kind of makes that a non-issue. They're just all perfect. They're all the same at that point. But where he was pointing out that I didn't even occur to me because like I didn't play at his level. Like sometimes you don't want perfect IVs. Sometimes like he would want like slower IVs, because if he has like a Pokemon that uses Trick Room, which is a move that makes it so slow Pokemon go first, or go first and fast Pokemon go last. You want to make your Pokemon as slow as possible. And then there's another thing that he said will come up is like sometimes people will specifically not get perfect IVs for speed, because if two Pokemon have the exact same speed, it's a 50-50 toss-up who will attack first, where normally it's just whoever has the faster speed stat just goes first. And without IVs, a lot of Pokemon just have the same speed stat in certain tiers. So he said it's just, just something that it's going to affect obviously more competitively inclined people, that you may end up with more speed ties, which means a lot of games are going to be decided by like, well, they got to attack first this time and I didn't, versus, the more controlled way of breeding them. But it's also possible IVs could just be a hidden stat that they don't show somewhere, but I guess we'll see. But otherwise, yeah, it's cool. The fact that there's going to be a mobile version with it as well is kind of scary, because that also means like, oh, I could literally like have my arms crossed and just like occasionally glance at my phone to pick a move, and then just like, let it do its thing and then look back and then play another move, which is why I deleted Hearthstone from my phone, because it's just like asking to be addicted to it. But that's
For
assuming
what it's worth, that's coming at a later
That's super
time.
Cool.
So they're launching it April 8th on Switch, and then a cleaner graphics version on Switch 2, and mobile's just later, whatever that means.
yeah, I think
So you won't get across your arms just yet. You have to still use your Switch's kickstand to do your arm crossing.
Yeah. The only other thing that may or may not matter to some is that it looks like when you transfer Pokemon over, they don't bring the items they had with them, and you have to like repurchase that in the app. And the items seem to be the most expensive thing you could get with VP, especially the Mega Stones. So it may take like a little while to get those, but not to an egregious amount. It's just, we'll take like a couple rounds, or maybe if you have like the Platinum membership or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it. Like, I'm just happy it exists. Whether I end up playing it or not, like I said, I might just I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, it's crazy that we're finally getting a Pokemon battle simulator. It took this long. It almost seemed like it would never happen because of the quote unquote like integrity of having to actually suffer through like breeding the eggs and then training them with the EVs and getting the egg move and crossbreeding them so the right move could be there. But
there was a sense of accomplishment, like you deserve.
yeah, there was. I made this team. The only other thing that's kind of like we'll just have to wait and see is like he noted that for the most part, any Pokemon, like let's say, with the same way that you can mess with the stats, you can also just be like, I don't want this move, and just go through the entire list of all the moves that they know and just like swap them out. And he noticed that it does have the egg moves there too. But one thing that he noted is that certain moves were missing. Like he noted that Incineroar, one of the best moves that Incineroar could learn is knockoff for their dark type move, and that move was not there, and that was a move that they got. I think it was like in like Sword and Shield or something like that, or maybe it was like Scarlet and Violet, one of those two. It was like a new move that they got in that game that's like a move tutor move that's taught like by a person, and that one's not in that game. So it could just maybe not be in the build, but if move tutor moves are not there, that also, inherently nerfs some Pokemon. But, it depends. Like, there's only one Pokemon I could think of, two, that I use that would affect. Like, my Chatot knows Heat Wave, which we'll see if it still carries that over if I transfer it. And a Slurpuff that knows Belly Drum. But, yeah, we'll see.
I feel like some Pokemon moves didn't get transferred over. Like,
I know there's some Pokemon that, like, if you don't have that move, if you don't transfer it naturally through the means, it's just impossible to get that move. Because, like, there's some move tutors that are only in certain games. Like, that Belly Drum Slurpuff, you could only learn that from the Ruby and Sapphire, Omega Ruby and Omega Sapphire version of the game. So if you never...
So you think that Slurpuff would, like, still know Belly Drum from, like, the last installment of the game? If you move him?
That's the thing. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure. I know it did if you carried it over, because I know I had it in Sun and Moon, which came after, and I was able basically to like smuggle it in with that move, and it was like a legit Slurpuff. Like it wasn't like illegal or anything. But I guess I don't know if that carried over from, I guess,
and just
the Pokemon home side.
Like just retcon it.
Yeah, but things, smaller things that at least for our purposes, like probably not going to be too big of a deal. I mean, you just adapt. I mean, if that's just like what the nerf is, then you just find another move, and that's just it. But yeah, thought I got.
I'm curious to try it, but I know for sure I'm not gonna get super invested in it because for me, I was never a competitive player.
Or player.
I never I never. I mean, obviously I was a competitor, you guys know that, but I wasn't like battling wasn't the main focus for me. I like just being in the world of Pokemon. So I am curious to try it for sure, but I already know it's not gonna have the stickiness for me that I'm sure it is for other folks.
I was almost gonna say like oh, that's like the whole core of the franchise, but I guess you can also argue it's collecting, but then you can also argue it's well, actually, just those two things. Those
or just the character, just discovering all these different Pokemon. Yeah. But another upcoming game that does capture that side of Pokemon a little more, and it's probably worth mentioning, was shown alongside Champions at Pokemon Day's presentation, Winds and Waves. Thoughts, anyone, on Winds and Waves? Are you into it? Or are you not?
Pokemon Champions was all I wanted from a Pokemon game, so it was kind of like It looks neat.
So you tapped out. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah.
I will say, like, I want to give credit where it's due with Winds and Waves. It does genuinely feel like a step forward. Like, maybe not the level of a game like Beast of Reincarnation for Xbox, which is also Game Freak and graphically a huge step forward. But, like, visually, the graphics are a notable step up in a lot of ways from what we saw on Switch 1. Particularly those water effects, which kind of have to look good to be included in a name like Waves. But yeah, I just feel like they get so much flack for the issues they have with their games on Switch 1. I want to call out, like, the Switch 2 one. Sure, there's some textures that aren't perfect, but, like, it looks a lot better. I do find it interesting that there is now a very, like, conscious choice, I guess, on the Pokemon Company's part to not do realistic textures on Pokemon. Like, they could go full furry Detective Pikachu movie style textures, but it seems like they want to have this, like, consistent stylized look between the 3D games, the general renders, what have you, and they're sticking to that. So weirdly, I was more impressed with the environments of Winds and Waves and the water than I was the Pokemon themselves, which do look a little more like the Switch 1 game ones, but that seems to be a style choice, not a graphical limitation or anything, so whatever. I also did find it interesting that instead of adding textures to Pokemon, they're adding clothing, kind of. Like, they showed it at the beginning of the presentation, and then they kind of glossed over it. But I don't know if you guys remember at the start of the Winds and Waves trailer, with no explanation, there are these two Pikachus who look like boomers vacationing in Hawaii. Like, they're loud aloha shirts, they had big hats. And if you go to Pokemon.com, they're being described as, quote, involved in your adventure, whatever that means. And they each have a unique name. So the guy is a Pikachu named, and I'm not making this up, Mr. Windy Chew. And presumably he's exclusive to Winds. And then the girl is Miss Wavy Chew and is presumably exclusive to Waves. And those absurd names aside, I do find it kind of interesting that we know very little about Winds and Waves. But what we do know is with now 1,000+ creatures, Pokemon is starting to very heavily lean more and more on just doing variations of the Pokemon we know. Like, obviously they did it with Mega Evolutions. They get it with Gigantamaxing. Even in Pokopia, when we talk about that, like, there's a Mosslax and a Pikachu, which are like riffs on Snorlax and Pikachu, of course. And
really
all
like
those
the
have
Mosslax.
physical... Yeah, the Mosslax is super cool. They're making a plush of it, by the way. That you can buy. Yeah. But all these, like, Mosslax, Pikachu, everything I just mentioned, they're all, like, physically different characteristics. Except now we're getting Mr. Windy Chew and Miss Wavy Chew, and their only difference is they're dressed up, I guess. And not like in the dressing up mode you could do in, like, Diamond and Pearl or whichever game it was that had the fashion shows, but just like, this is a unique Pikachu because he's wearing a hat and an Aloha shirt. And I'm like, I guess. So I'm very curious and perplexed by that, and I'm
Pikachu's no
wondering what
stranger
that
to
means
unique Pikachus.
for the game. What was that?
Pikachu's no stranger to being unique with little accessories. There was that surfer Pikachu.
Yeah, but having that be like a major, like, one of the differences between the two versions of the game is you can meet a Pikachu in a hat and an Aloha shirt, or a Pikachu in an Aloha dress and a different hat. Like,
Their eyes are pretty
what is it?
different,
And they
too.
have special names. Like, what is their significance? Like, it feels like it's something important, and it's interesting they're going.
I mean, when they first popped
down
up,
this road.
my initial, like, reaction was like, wait, is the core mechanic is that you could turn into a Pikachu? Because I didn't realize they were specific characters. I thought it was just like, are these just like your friends that visited you as Pikachus, and you can, traverse, like, your traversal
that actually
vehicle.
become more interesting.
It's like a
yeah.
Pokemon, like you could just like pick your Pokemon form, I guess, or something.
Yeah. I mean, they do have to explain, because the other big mechanic, of course, is, which they didn't say, but they certainly hinted, and I think leaks maybe have since said, diving. Like, you're in the air, in the winds, or you're in the water under the waves, and that's how you're going to be able to do some discoveries. So,
Wait, did you say
are
new
you
mechanic?
diving as a human, or to your point, what?
Did you say new mechanic?
That's bringing it back, I guess.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
they have in past games had, but then they got rid of it for a while, and water was like a thing you couldn't touch, essentially, and now it's back. So new to this generation. But yeah, I don't know how. Are you gonna be wearing a diving suit, or are you gonna be? To your point, do you ride a Pokemon underwater? How you breathe? Maybe you turn into a Pokemon. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe Mr. Windy Chew was a nice gentleman who went on vacation to this new region and somehow got turned into a Pikachu. The Pokemon Mystery Dungeon plotline back in the mainline games. Because isn't that the premise
Pokemon
of those
Hoppers?
games? Is you get turned. Yeah, I mean it's Pokemon Hoppers, Pokemon Avatar. So maybe that's what it is. But it's just interesting that like the distinguishing thing is less and less new creatures and more like iterations on existing ones. So.
Oh, cool.
And that kind of even spills into the new creatures, if I'm being honest. Like, the starters? Well, do you guys have a favorite starter?
The gecko.
Do you have a favorite
obviously.
starter? Yeah, okay, so you like Gekwa?
Growlithe?
Like Aqua,
Think that
but
was his
Gekwa. Brout is the grass one.
Brout. Yeah.
And then Ponbon, which is incredibly
The
fun to
worst
say.
one.
Ponbon
Oh, yeah.
is
I
the
gotta look it
dog.
up again. Pokemon
So-
wave starters.
We'll wait with bated breath to see a real-time choice from Kevin.
These
You finished
don't
that
look
soju
real.
bottle?
You don't look real.
Worry
They
about
don't
yourself, okay, dog? Kid.
I worry about my friends.
Okay, I'm not gonna. I can't use DuckDuckGo for this. Hold on.
You're using DuckDuckGo. Are you worried this will be in your search history?
No, it's just the browser that I use defaults to DuckDuckGo.
Oh, got you.
Starters. I should probably put that so I can see them. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, I don't. The Pomeranian is.
Yeah, Ponbon.
Yep.
Best one, right? He's adorable.
Yeah, relatively, yeah.
I mean, relatively compared to the other two. Yeah, it's interesting though, because like when I was saying how they're kind of running out, like they're not too many new creatures. Like Ponbon, you could say Ponbon's maybe a pre-evolution of Growlithe if you want to try and draw a comparison. It kind of has some similarities, but I mean, Gekwa is basically Snivy as a water gecko, and Brout is basically Rowlet with a unibrow instead of a bow tie. Like they're not the most creative of the starters. That doesn't mean you can't not. That doesn't mean you shouldn't like them. That doesn't mean Gekko's not cool for being what he is, but definitely doesn't feel as original as some other starter sets, even Ponbon. So I thought that was kind of interesting that like as they're simultaneously like we dress up the Pokemon now, they're also like, and here's some starters that kind of we stole our own homework from the past. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you guys have any other thoughts on Winds and Waves besides it just existing? I have one more thought, but before I get to that.
It looks cool. I mean, I think that's would be the first one I buy.
Oh, interesting. What's the last generation you owned prior to Winds and Waves?
I did buy Shield, but I think I got it to the second gym, and then I just never played it again.
I see. Which for you is that's big if you didn't go back to it, yeah. For me, that's just another normal day, am I right? But for you, that's no, I usually get a little further the second gym, to be fair. But yeah, the other thing I was going to say is I find this kind of interesting that the timing of when they're releasing it is
Not
a
holidays?
bit unexpected. Not holiday. And this was before the Nate the Hate leaks that we were talking about earlier. So this was like already, known as 2027. But yeah, they are not rushing it out for the holiday. They're giving it room to breathe. Part of this might be to sidestep the zeitgeist freight train of GTA 6. I mean, obviously the demographic is not a one-to-one overlap, but the Pokemon
They also
audience
can't
is getting
afford for
older.
this game to release like Scarlet and Violet did.
That's exactly what I was getting at. Because credit where it's due, they seem to have structured their entire 2026 to provide the extra time to ensure that Winds and Waves can be more polished and not fall into what happened to Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet came out in 2022. This is coming out in 2027. That is the biggest gap between generations in quite a number of generations. The last few generations has been like 2 to 3 years at most. And this is for going on 5 potentially, which is kind of crazy. But when I say that they're like structuring their 2026 to ensure they can do this, like all the other stuff, it's a very front-loaded year for Pokemon. I mean, we had those bare bones but quite popular $20 GBA ports of Fire Red and Leaf Green that came out on the eShop on Pokemon Day. Pokopia was last month. Pokemon Champions, as we were just discussing, is in 2 weeks. They can easily ride the momentum of those, especially those latter two, through the rest of the year, no problem. Like Pokopia has this word of mouth at this point that's like astronomical. It's doing super well. Champions is a live service that even though it launches in 2 weeks in April on Switch and Switch 2, it's going to get a boost, a huge profile boost later in the year when it launches on mobile. It's going to get a second big boost when it's tied into Pokemon Worlds and the Pokemon XP Fan Expo at the end of the summer up in San Francisco. Like, it is the competitive Pokemon game going forward. So they have those. They have what's usually a quiet first half is a packed first half that they could just ride through the second half. Plus, they have huge money makers like Go and Train Card Game Pocket and Unite to some extent. Believe it or not, there's a billboard specifically promoting Pokemon Unite on Hollywood Boulevard currently. I was very surprised to see that. Wow. It's for the game. It has a big Switch logo on it. I was like, wow, I've never seen like a Switch game billboard. But there it was. But my point is, if there was any year to skip a marquee Pokemon holiday release, this is the one, given all the other happenings they have going on. So that's not, in my mind, at all a coincidence. I feel like there's a lot of intentionality in that, and it's in part to exactly what you said, Angel. They can't repeat Scarlet and Violet, especially on more powerful hardware. They need this to go right, and they need to give it the breathing room to do it. So it's great to see that they recognize it, they're acting on it, and that initial footage. I remember when I think it was Scarlet and Violet's first teaser trailer came out, and people noticed frame rate drops and stuttering and all sorts of issues. The initial footage looked good this time, so I have high hopes. I think it'll be cool, and I think the new mechanics are going to be fun with the diving and the flying and the whatnot. So that's what I want to say about Winds and Waves. Now, there was one other thing that happened around Pokemon Day, which, Elvis, I know you wanted to talk about. You have thoughts on the Lego Pokemon, don't you?
I do. It's like, you think first Winds and Waves are like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's make sure it's polished. Make sure it looks good. It's like, where was that department for Lego Pikachu?
What a harsh way to put it.
The mascot of the franchise.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, so
it's like at no point everyone was too
on.
shy to say anything.
It looks like when my dog got bit like by a spider and his cheeks got really poofy and swollen. That's what you get with Pikachu. You got a Pikachu that was bitten.
What an amazing comparison. Yeah, it's crazy that they took, it was such a big deal they got the Lego license. And then, honestly, the Mega Bloks Pikachu looks like 10 times better.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They just made the cheeks way too big.
Yeah. I mean, there's some angles. So there's a Lego store.
Kind of the forehead
near me, and
as well, too.
It's the forehead.
It's the head.
It's
like the whole head.
It's like a flat.
The head is just too rotund. It's not like it's too.
And I don't like how the
shaped.
mouth is like protruding out at a weird angle compared to like the cheeks as well. It's like I don't know. It looks a little better,
say, and you were
dead on. Like there's that one, like the third picture down on the Lego website, where you're kind of looking at it, as if it's staring up at you, and you're looking down at it. Like that looks a little better, but yeah, from literally any other angle, it just kind of breaks.
I mean, even we saw it at a Lego store, like the Lego store near me. We went and saw it, and yeah, walking around it, they had it on display a day or two before it launched, which was kind of neat. Walking around it is like some angles you're like, okay, and then others just like, nope. I don't know. It's also interesting because it's like a static statue meant to be displayed as a display piece. So like they don't have to worry about like the mechanisms of movement or anything or having it pose in different ways. Like I don't know why it still looks like that. Yeah, exactly. Eevee turned out okay.
Yeah. I don't know what.
Eevee, actually, someone on Reddit turned it into a Bidoof.
Oh.
It's not bad. If I could find instructions on how to do it, I would buy Eevee and make it a Bidoof, but I need someone to tell me what to do.
That's enough to get you to do it.
Probably. I mean, it's also the cheapest one. It's only $50 versus the, $600 starter evolution set.
It's $600?
What do you think of that one, Elvis? Yeah, you've seen it, right?
The three last evolution ones.
A huge statue.
Do you like that one?
It looks pretty cool. I like Charizard. Charizard's
huge.
It's
like a little bigger than our last Ronin statue.
It's that big?
It's
huge.
It's massive.
Damn.
Yeah, we saw it in person. It's really big.
I take it back. They could have done better.
And this is coming, for those listening, this is coming from like a somewhat professional opinion because Elvis does sculpting. So he's...
I don't know how much that
he's looking
to
at
Legos, but...
No, but they ultimately are showpieces. These Lego Pokemon are made specifically for the adult collectors, and the black box for the adult collectors. So if they're display pieces, I think the fact that you're looking at them going, this seems off, has validity because you know how things should present. Yeah.
Yeah, they could have done it much better than in that case. If it's that big, they're just like kind of standing there. You're like, his arm, Blastoise's arms are just kind of static. He's just giving a hug. Like, they could have been more.
There's only so much you could do with
dynamic
Venusaur, though. Besides,
I
like,
don't
the
know.
vine
Yeah,
wave.
Venusaur's kind of a hard one to give personality. He's just kind of a big flat lily pad. Is there any of the, I guess you said Eevee, but is there any Nintendo Pokemon, any Lego set that you do like of late?
The only other one that was recently announced was the Ocarina of Time, the final battle. That one's pretty cool.
The Ganon.
Like
Yeah, that one's
I
really
would
cool.
get it mainly just for the minifigures. Like I want. Oh wait, I remember too. They're gonna release the like minifigure Mario's, like a proper Mario minifigure.
Yeah, next year. They need a year head start, but yeah,
I was super
of
excited for
announcement.
that.
But yeah,
And the
Do you like
yeah,
the...
I hope to double dip on like the kitty sets they have and like make a proper.
oh, like
Donkey
the
Kong
settings
one.
from the Lego
yeah,
Super
get
Mario
the,
and make
yeah,
it just
there's a
Lego
Dixie and a
minifig Mario.
Diddy
Yeah.
in there somewhere that we can get.
Yeah, like I want a little minifig Wario, a Donkey Kong.
Do you like the Oogly Boogly Ganondorf in this set that just like tries to scare
like-
you
yeah.
from the ramp?
It looks awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, little cape and everything.
129. 129 is not too bad either.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean that's usually how they price them. Like, if it's like 1,000 pieces, you can expect it to be around $100. This one, it's a little over, but
You
Like-
remove a zero.
yeah, there's like a price per piece ratio that people usually go by. Like that Pokemon one, the big one, that one's like 6,800 pieces, and it's like 650. So
You do just round it off.
Yeah.
Like I round it off. Use 10%.
Yeah, so if the price is usually lower than the price per piece ratio, yeah, it's just add one decimal point to the second to last number. Then it's usually
10%
pretty
of it.
cheap,
Yeah.
but usually licensed stuff tends to like go
Oh, you
over.
lost me.
Did they lose you, or did the soju help them? You lose them.
So you definitely not helping.
I'll admit I sort of got lost somewhere in the middle, but yeah, I know the pricing can get crazy.
But yeah, I mean, just opening that floodgate too with Legos, it's like they could do so many things, like DK Island.
Yeah,
I know
Nice.
Peach's
That'd be cool.
Castle
That's like that.
seems like an obvious one to make, just like a bigger version of the
Or
one.
Bowser's
does.
Castle.
Mm-hmm.
All the landmarks. That's pretty cool.
I know,
they
just
could do
like,
some really cool stuff.
I mean,
And-
yeah, if
and
they
I
go crazy,
think-
they could literally make like a bigger bomb battlefield. But like all these things, they also kind of made that micro scale of. Like I feel like they usually try to not double dip. So Bowser's Castle is kind of like on the table. But I could also see them doing like,
I'd also
I mean, they would have to have Mario in it, obviously. But I also feel like they wouldn't just do one World 1-1 again because that's in the TV of the NES.
yeah, that's in the NES set. Yep,
Yeah,
I could see them
It's too early to do like a Rosalina's Observatory,
doing
but I can see them doing
mini
that eventually.
figs. I could see them doing minifigs that tie in less to the games and more to the movies. By which I mean, I could see Star Fox coming down the pipe as Legos.
Definitely not. Down
I
the
think there's a
pipe.
full
That's a
court
Mario
press
thing.
that's about to happen. Well, yeah, okay, flying in, barrel rolling in, but I think there's a full court. So there was a Nintendo financial report a while ago, last fall maybe.
Oh, no.
Maybe last spring. No. All I'm gonna say is in it they talk about their strategy of IP first and using certain IPs to get people to come into the ecosystem of Nintendo. And every single IP on that slide were ones that are active. Pikmin, Splatoon, Donkey Kong. I think Samus was on there. Mario, of course. Pikachu. And Fox McCloud. So they, in their minds, consider that guy and his franchise to be a big opportunity for them to multifaceted, turn into an IP of merch and movies and stuff. So Legos seem perfect for that. Lego Star Wars is super popular. So, yeah, I'm going to guess that the minifigs are actually going to probably lean on the set pieces of the movies, and that's going to be a way for them to side door in Star Fox Legos. But we'll find out next year. But that's what I'm leaning towards personally. And then they don't have to worry about the issue you were saying about double dipping on things that are already in the current sets with the digital Super Mario figure thing. So that's where my mind goes. But I guess time will tell. Do we want to take a Nintendo break? Kevin, do you want to talk about one of your topics and then we'll circle back to Pokopia and then some other things? Or do you want us to just power through all the Pokemon?
I could go either way. If you guys want to talk
Well,
Pokopia, that's fine.
I mean,
Pokopia.
there's Pokopia. Well, actually, you know what, Kevin, go ahead. Yeah, I feel like you've been a little quiet.
But it's
so
the
go
last
ahead. Do you want-
topic.
you can do
Just get
Chainsaw.
Pokemon out of the way.
Fine. Okay. See, I was trying to be fair.
Kill it. Just
Pokopia.
kill it.
Pokopia.
Yeah, because then I have to
All
add
right.
another
I'm the only
timestamp
one that
separate
bought
for
it, right?
Pokemon. Anyway.
Fair. Okay. I'm the only one that bought. I mean, to be fair, I'm going to break out the timestamps into each Pokemon topic because there's so many. But, I'm the only
go
one that
ahead,
bought
Kevin, my
Pokopia. God.
What? Just finish.
Okay. Am I the only one that bought Pokopia? Because I'm just going to launch my impressions if so. I think I am.
Yes.
Okay. So here's my thought. Wow, did Nintendo undersell this game initially? And done. No, but I think I know. But I think in like early
Cool. So
reveals, like the
Chainsaw
gist.
Man.
No. But in the early reveals, the gist of this game was really like it's Animal Crossing, but it's Pokemon. And there are a few people who maybe noticed that like the developers of Dragon Quest Builders were behind it. So there's a little more depth and structure hidden under the surface if you were familiar with that game. But wow, is that little more depth that I just said a bit of an understatement? I think high level. Anyone who's listening to this, you guys included here, may already know how on the week of this game's release, like suddenly the word of mouth exploded. It got super good reviews. It became a Switch 2 system seller to the point of like literally lifting Nintendo's stock value. And in the same way, like other games like Animal Crossing or Tears of the Kingdom exploded with people making insane custom islands or builds and putting them on social media. We're seeing the same thing happen with Pokopia, post circulating right now of all sorts of crazy things people have made.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like me being like, oh, it's good. Like obviously
people
it's
are
good.
playing
It's
prop
blowing
hunt
up.
in this game now. It's funny.
I saw
Prop
that.
hunt.
Yeah. Wait, what did you say? Jason?
Wait, what? Prop hunt? What did you say?
Yeah, prop hunt.
Elaborate.
I honestly not sure if it's a game mode within Call of Duty or if it's just like a mod. But the simple explanation is that you have two teams, one team of people with guns looking for people on the other team that are just trying to disguise themselves as just objects that appear in the world. So they could just try to hide as a haystack or a barrel or a computer or a table. And you could move around as those things and just try to blend into the environment. You could duplicate yourself. You know, it's obviously way more complex than what we're seeing here. But
I think it was a Gary's mod.
Initially,
yeah.
Yeah.
and it kind of blew up into like its
But
own.
people are doing this in multiplayer Pokopia?
Yeah, because I guess you could, as the Ditto, you could turn into any object, and basically one person just like they're just giving them like time to hide, and then the next person just enters the room, and then they're just like, all right, I need to figure out what you're hiding as, and
That's
in some
fun.
cases
I
people
didn't
hit as
see-
like a wall, like a straight up wall.
See, this actually exemplifies exactly what I was about to say. Obviously it's a good game. It's what I want to, like the ways it surprised me in how it's good is what I find so interesting. And this is another one. I didn't even know Ditto could turn into objects. I'm not even that far in the game yet. So the fact that like I'm still learning
Word
these
alert.
other ways you can play it is, yeah, it's pretty crazy how like I'm surprised at how much there's. Like the core of that surprise is of course the gameplay itself. Like they found a way, like a really interesting way to like thread the needle between complete and total freedom and like a linear story driven progression. So like the underlying gameplay hook is entirely based on the idea of just fulfilling requests. So basically how it works is you're plopped into this initial area, the one we saw in all the early marketing, and within that area you're setting up what has the feel of almost an Animal Crossing town by completing requests for your Pokemon residents. And each Pokemon you encounter, they'll frequently ask you for things like specific food or shelter or certain items, even to change the climate around them. I'm sure you guys have seen the memes of Bulbasaur saying, let's make it humid. And to complete these tasks, there are then it's a great, like there's the writing in this game is so good. But anyway, to complete these tasks, there are like two components. One is crafting, which is just like Animal Crossing. So materials and items you collect through the environment can be used to make new things. But the other is through abilities you learn from the Pokemon. Like you were saying, Angel, how Ditto can transform. Obviously, that's a Ditto characteristic. But as a Ditto, you can essentially crib any Pokemon's powers to help you in your own pursuit of improving the biome you're in. So the game's progression system like teaches you powers as you go. So as you complete tasks and the comfort level of your Pokemon increases, you then get new tasks assigned to you, and new abilities are learned from new Pokemon that can let you do more advanced things. Thus, both expanding your capabilities and the range of requests the game can now toss your way as a result. So some of these requests are for Pokemon's needs, like the examples I rattled off before, food and shelter and whatnot. Others are for environmental needs, and this is what really kind of closes the gameplay loop. So you not only have a Pokedex you're filling as you help more Pokemon move into the biome, you're also helping improve the environment itself with the requests that are a whole separate set to set up different types of habitats for further Pokemon to then appear. So not only does like Charmander, for example, want a house, but also you may need to plant certain grass next to water to spawn your first Magikarp, or craft a table, put a first aid kit on it, and place a punching bag next to it, and that's how you get Hitmonchan. And then what really propels the game forward are these kind of overlapping loops of fulfilling requests for current Pokemon and requirements for habitats to bring in additional Pokemon who then have their own requests, and then rinse and repeat. And that's just one layer of the depth. Layer 2 comes into play when you start to scale the game up. You might have noticed I used the word biome a couple times. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I think I am. But this is because that's one, what they call them. But two, kind of buried in the early marketing was the fact that the town, environment, biome, whatever you want to call it, is only one of many. There are multiple that you unlock as you go, each themed around different environments and each introducing new mechanics of things to craft and new Pokemon to encounter. And as you fulfill the requests of each Pokemon per biome and introduce more Pokemon to each biome through that habitat making, you then up the overall level of the given biome. And if you reach a certain level within that biome, you can go through a gate to a subsequent biome, whether or not you completed every individual little request in the biome you're currently in. And what's particularly neat about that is that the biomes all introduce their own layers to the gameplay. It's not simply, oh, I'm on a beach now, so I have more water Pokemon. They actively introduce entire new systems of gameplay that can be retroactively then used in the earlier biomes if you go back to those, both in terms of new moves for you as Ditto and in terms of entire new mechanics like introducing electricity or introducing railways. And then on top of all that I just said, some of these gameplay systems can be further upgraded to allow for more elaborate interactions. Like I learned in my second biome how to cook, and cooking allows me to now power up all my moves as Ditto to do more advanced ability versions of the same abilities. Like, sure, I could punch small rocks in biome number 1, but when I learned to cook in biome number 2, I got the ability to punch super hard boulders too. And now I could go back to biome 1 and do that, or continue punching the bigger boulders in biome 2. It sounds like a lot. It really is kind of a lot of stacking things. There are so many different requests from individual Pokemon and for building new habitats within each biome. But there's no time limits. There's no urgency. There's no diminishing returns if you don't complete a task in a certain time frame. The thing about the game that I think they did so well is that you really set your own pace. If you want to go full Animal Crossing Island and turn that first biome into this visually stunning town with every Pokemon in its purest, happiest state it can be, you can use just the tools available in that biome and do it. If you're interested in instead diving into multiple biomes, either to advance the story or just get the deeper mechanics, you can just as easily do that. It's really kind of freeform, and that story actually is where I think they really perfectly threaded the needle between open-ended and linear progression. There's a certain number of minimum tasks you do per biome in order to reach a certain population of Pokemon, learn a certain number of moves as Ditto, and then it's in what's kind of like a finishing move for each section, you rebuild that biome's Pokemon Center, and that's kind of the crossing where if you want structure and progression, you hit those marks and you move on to the next biome, which is pretty much how I've been playing it at the moment, in part because I just want to see what else the game can do given how creative it already feels, and in part because, truth be told, the requests can be a little overwhelming sometimes. There's just a lot of them. But like I said, you can pick and choose a lot of what you do. Like if you build the Pokemon Center and decide I want to stay where I am and keep building out the particular biome I'm in, they're huge. They're very large. They're like, nobody's upset if you don't build them a habitat fast enough in the next section, or don't build them a habitat fast enough in the current section, or if you craft them the item slower than they want. Like, the list of things can get long for each biome. And within that list, there's mechanics that I haven't even touched on, like gardening, or the fact that each biome has multiple vertical and horizontal like layers to explore. Think kind of like DK Bonanza in a way, like how Bonanza does, you know, you could go down, you go up, you go left, you go right. It's sort of similar. And you could dive into those if you want, or you could not dive into those if you want. It's totally fine. It's totally freeform, and it works really well. And once you kind of recognize that, yes, there is this growing to-do list, but it's all optional, the kind of anxiety of having so much to do goes away and it subsides. And you have this kind of basically a choose your own adventure game. And it's you know, make one biome amazing. Sure. Go learn smelting abilities and make metal materials for some other thing in some other biome. Sure. Like it's just like Animal Crossing where there's no right or wrong way to play. It's just blown up to like 5 Animal Crossing islands of content. And that's not even including the Pallet Town mode, which is where multiplayer is, where I guess people are playing this like game you guys are describing that they made up themselves. And if you choose to follow the linear narrative, it will let you discover everything and it will guide you through those equivalent 5 islands of Animal Crossing. But it's just the sheer depth of everything I just said was way beyond what I expected. Like that was definitely surprise number 1 with this game. And it's really cool that there's this much depth to it. Surprise number 2 is just the vibes, man. I mean, like really the game was built as cozy as it is, but the bigger surprise for me is the game's personality just as a whole. Like every Pokemon has their own personality. They interact with one another. There are some that have archetypes that are reminiscent of the different buckets of like Animal Crossing personalities. But the team, whoever put this together, they just had a ton of fun writing for the game because unlike Animal Crossing, the personality is per Pokemon. So someone like Machoke is, of course, a meathead. Someone like Slowpoke is, of course, aloof. The 3 starters are all super eager and excitable, you know, that sort of thing. And that goes a step beyond that into the gameplay around these Pokemon. So Slowpoke, for example, at one point you have to do an escort mission with him and give him a clear path. But he naturally moves comically slow. Or for Magikarp, they do a gag where, of course, since all he can do is flounder up and down with Splash when he's on land, he's the one that teaches you how to jump. You learn to jump ability from Magikarp, not from anyone that actually can really jump. Or Scyther, he's obsessed with keeping his blade hand sharp, so he becomes the Pokemon that can convert logs into lumber for you. Like all of this is just very well themed and very clever, and the personality extends beyond just how you interact with the Pokemon, but how they interact between each other, like when you witness from afar, or what you see in cutscenes where Pokemon are working together in the story. Even in this, like the overarching story of helping Professor Tangrowth try to understand where all the humans went. Like that has a lot. He has a lot of personality. That has a lot of personality. The game's set in like this post-apocalyptic Kanto where nobody's around but Pokemon. All the humans are just gone. So you explore each biome, kind of trying to like piece together where the humans went and what happened. And along the way, again, speaking to the game's personality, you find papers and excerpts that are various nods to the humans' time in Kanto, which in other words are just Easter eggs nodding to the mainline Pokemon games, which is pretty fun. And that brings me to the third and final surprise of this whole game. This game is actually, like, Pokopia is actually the perfect, kind of low-key, like, perfect 30th anniversary celebration for Pokemon. Partly through the writing, like I mentioned. Not just the direct nods and references, but the jokes that fans will get. My favorite so far being Bellsprout, when introducing himself, says he wants to grow into the prettiest flower and asks for assurance that he will. And I got some bad news for him. But also just the way the game, like, retrofits existing Pokemon concepts into new gameplay loops is really clever. The idea of collecting Pokemon to use their moves is now flipped to collecting Pokemon for them to teach you their moves, right down to still playing the new move music whenever you learn one. Or how having a team of Pokemon to help you complete things in the environment is basically the HM ability flipped around. You know, like in normal mainline Pokemon games, you could do attacks outside of battles using HMs, and they help you cut things down and move things and whatnot. Here you can enlist Pokemon via a button to follow you, and then wherever you take them, they'll use their abilities to trigger an item to do something or to help build a structure. Or like I was saying with Scyther before, you can convert loose wood into lumber. They're very much your partners, just like they're described in the mainline game, just in a different way here. And their types often are still relevant in the same way they are in a mainline game. You use a Charmander because he's fire to ignite something. Electricity Pokemon for power. Water types for watering things. You know, that sort of thing. It's very analogous. Another example is how the comfort level system works. Having a strong bond with your Pokemon is a big thing in every Pokemon game. And here they do it through this like friendship system of a comfort level where doing more for your Pokemon not only keeps them happy, but helps to raise the overall level of progress for the biome itself, the more happy Pokemon you have in it. And then another final example is how the PP system is still relevant for move stamina, but it determines. Yeah, I had to say it like that, but it determines how much you can do at once as Ditto instead of per move for your Pokemon. And like the main games, you run out of this stat and you have to get an item to revive it, or you have to wait or whatever. In Pokopia, you have to eat food every so often to keep yours up or to increase it through cooking and things like that. The list goes on and on, like all the parallels. But my point is, while this is its own game, it very much draws parallels to and nostalgia from and creatively reinvents many things we know from across the 30 years of Pokemon, right down to some music cues, some remixes, everything from the gameplay to the personality to those tie-ins. It just combines for a package that really surprised me beyond what I thought the game was going to be. It's really fun. It's really easy to pick up and play for a little while, but it's definitely a type of game that you'll be like, oh, just one more request for one more Pokemon, or I'm just going to build one more thing, and hours go by. And you're like, oh, wow, where did the night go? Like, it's rare for me with games, but there have been multiple times that I was just like home alone playing it. And I was like, I'll play for an hour and then catch up with like Scrubs or something. And then like 3 hours later, I'm like, oh, right, I was going to do something else, wasn't I? Like, the time just melts away. There's a reason this game is blowing up right now, and it is a lot of fun. So that's Pokopia. Way more elaborate than I ever would have guessed.
In a nutshell.
Very fun. Yeah, in a nutshell, however many minutes later, that's Pokopia. Which I keep wanting to call Pokopia, but it's Pokopia. So.
Does it say that in game?
Anyway, Kevin, now I guess it's
Nintendo rep said.
It's Pokopia, like a cornucopia or utopia. Pokopia.
Oh.
It wasn't playing on. It's like Spanish.
Like Pokopia.
Pokopia? What's the play?
What is that in Spanish?
Un poco.
It's actually in Japan they play on a similar thing. Not in Spanish, but no, in Japanese, I believe the title is a little bit of Pokemon, so you're not totally wrong. It's a different wordplay in Japan, but I think it's supposed to be like a little slice of Pokemon or a little bit of Pokemon or something like that. Because the idea is you can just do yeah. So you're not wrong if I'm remembering correctly about the Japanese title. I might be off, but I think that's what it is. Yeah. Anything else anyone needs to know about? That's what it means. Little by little or slowly. Pokopia. The Japanese name for Pokemon Pokopia is Poco a Pokemon. This title is a pun combining the Italian-Spanish phrase Poco a Poco, meaning little by little or slowly, with the word Pokemon, and the Japanese onomatopoeia Poco Poco, reflecting the game's relaxed sandbox and block placing nature. Thank you, Google Gemini. So you were actually right.
Yeah, but the Japanese stealing the Spanish.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't have an original thought of their own.
Nope.
World War II changed everything.
They don't have their own puns or what?
They don't have... Well, Poco... No, I guess they don't.
Cool.
And then our pun is on Utopia and Cornucopia. I'm assuming Utopia because you're building a Utopia for your Pokemon. Cornucopia because there's so much to do, if I had to guess, and so much in it. Anyway, any other thoughts on Pokopia or questions about how the game works before we go finally into the Kevin corner of manga and anime?
In multiplayer, do you progress someone's story, like one dude's the host?
No, I've yet to try multiplayer, to be fair. But my understanding, from what I have seen, and what Treehouse, I have one who has the game. I have
Andrew.
one, and he never invited me. Yes, and he didn't invite me to play yet, and he hasn't listened to this, so I'll just put it on blast. Andrew, invite me. It's all my friendship with him has been a lie since high school, apparently. But what was I gonna say?
You never forgot.
My understanding is it's called Pallet Town. It's a separate thing, and it's like an island space that you can completely customize any which way with the people you're playing multiplayer with or solo. But it does not impact the single player biomes, is I believe the situation.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like having a sixth Animal Crossing island in the game essentially. And I didn't even mention there's all sorts of other stuff like the dream system, like the dream islands you can visit in Animal Crossing. Yeah, they got equivalent here too. You talk to a Drifloon and he takes you off to these other places. So it's like never ending places to explore and customize. I also didn't mention the 3D printer system. If you see cool something somewhere else in a different game or in a different Pokopia copy, like if you go to someone else's place, someone else's Pallet Town, you can just like take a photo of it with the in-game camera and then make it in your town. Yeah. The layers of this game, the depths of this game are insane.
I mean,
It just
that's what
keeps
happens when you
going.
lend your Pokemon IP to literally anyone else.
Well, to be fair, Game Freak and Koei Tecmo made this
Pretty good.
together 50-50. But that is, it is a breath of fresh air that I feel like requires some outside perspective.
50%
Yeah.
news already. Much better.
Yeah. So that's Pokopia. I highly recommend it. It is definitely like the first game where I feel like it's the Switch 2 has punched through the zeitgeist a bit beyond just the Switch 2 exists. Like this is the first game where I'm seeing like I gotta get a Switch 2 for this game at a scale that's like Animal Crossing level. But we'll see if that sustains itself over time.
That was kind of a big hit.
Anyway, Kevin, hi. Hello. How's your
How's it
soju?
going? It's going great. By the way, I didn't tell you guys, but every 30 minutes I've been taking a shot of Jack Daniels. So we
shots?
just about hit 130.
We're
Yeah,
on the dot.
130. So on
you're
the dot.
three.
So cheers, fellas.
I have a little bit of bubbly,
this
by
is
which
the
I mean the sparkling
fourth?
water left. So I'll
Third.
Oh wait, no, it's third. No, I can't do math.
Whew.
It's 11:30.
The third, that's
Our
is
time.
basically sober.
Who has
We'll
more
see-
alcohol in
we'll
their
see
system
if
right
he's-
now?
we'll see if he's basically sober
well,
by
I'm
how
just
these
saying.
impressions of
That's what I
of,
thought. Sober
Jujutsu
Samuel?
Kaisen go.
Okay. This could be
That's
wrong.
how I know. I could
Sober
I,
Samuel.
game recognize game, sober recognize sober.
All right, go. Take 4 shots right now. That's what I thought.
It wouldn't be the same.
It'd be amazing if I was like, be right back, and we just hear bottles clanking and like.
All right,
Go
so what
ahead,
am I talking?
Kevin,
What am I
that's
talking about?
You tell me. You have 2 things on the list. You
You're
have
the
Jujutsu Kaisen.
host, aren't you?
Yes. Okay. So, but I was saying it's Kevin's anime manga corner, so you can pick between the Chainsaw Man manga finale or JJK season 3.
Okay,
The
Wait,
floor is
manga's
yours.
done.
let's don't ruin the story. Okay. All right. So let's start with JJ. No, let's start with Chainsaw Man. So yes, Angel, Chainsaw Man is as of this week is officially over at
that
chapter
explains.
232. Yeah, that explains.
Just the suspiciously increase in
The
chatter
memes.
around Chainsaw Man that I've been hearing.
Also, there's been
Oh, what-
memes about
okay.
the finale. I know that.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, there was just oddly more people talking about it than usual.
Yeah. This time around, like last time the manga ended, it ended like at chapter 98. So this is almost about, I'd say about, just right under 120, 150. I cannot do math right now. Damn, this was a mistake. Anyways, there is no tease of a part 3. So this is, by all accounts, the definitive end of Chainsaw Man. And I guess as far as the ending is concerned,
Can there be? Is it open to having a potential force?
they don't tease anything for like a new part. The same way, well, when part 1 ended, it specifically ended with a panel that said end of part 1, public safety arc or public safety saga. So that just meant like, okay, we're getting another. We didn't get that this time.
Gotcha.
In theory, you can make a part 3, but at this point, it seems incredibly unlikely. As far as the ending itself is concerned, it basically mirrors how I felt about JJK's ending, where in a vacuum, I think the ending is fine, and in Chainsaw Man's case, it borders on pretty good, but the way that we got to the ending was just like not it. This actually also applies to JJK Modulo, which is the sequel to JJK, which had a very short run. That again, the ending was fine for that manga, but the way that it got there was just so rushed and just so not thought out. I mean, in both cases for JJK, they're both thought out, but the character development just fell to the wayside. In Chainsaw Man's case, it ended on how a lot of Battle Shonen ends, with a big fight between the main character and the big bad. And then it just comes to one of the most abrupt ends I've ever read in the manga. And then when that happened, all of a sudden, you know, the Shonen Jump app and a bunch of other different outlets were like, hey, get ready for next week's final chapter of Chainsaw Man. And, you know, everybody was like, wait, what? What do you mean the end of Chainsaw Man?
That's how they announced it?
Yeah.
Just casually the week before? Jeez.
Yeah, literally just the week before. And typically, like most mangas, you'll know maybe like 5 weeks in advance, which is still like not nearly enough time to be able to process the fact that a manga is about to end. Mm-hmm. But here it was like, hey, yeah, next week is the final chapter. And there was a lot of like, there's a lot of copium going around where like, no, you know, the last time that they said that Chainsaw Man was going to end, we got a separate part. And so there was a lot of copium writing that, like, no, last time that they said it was the final chapter, it wasn't really the final chapter. And so, you know, we'll get a part 3 because there's still like a lot of loose ends. And nope, Tatsuki Fujimoto just said, no, nope, it's the end. And like I said, in the vacuum, I think the ending works. A lot of people are frustrated by part 2's cyclical nature of seemingly undoing character and plot development just without any logic behind it. And the second to last chapter of part 2 actually does acknowledges that repetitive nature. But it's followed by the finale that once again undoes a lot of character and plot development. But this time it makes logical sense. But I think the nature of it being the finale, there's absolutely like zero time for the characters to actually reflect on essentially the choices that the writer made, and that's essentially what has frustrated like a lot of longtime fans. And it's understandable. I'm like personally fine with the ending, but it's not a situation where I think people who don't like it are idiots and just can't appreciate fine writing. Like, it's very sloppy, it's very messy. And like I said, the way that we got there just like made no sense. Like I told Elvis about how a character in the manga turned the entire state, I think of Idaho, into a sword in Chainsaw Man Part 2. And
I guess it is a little sword shaped.
I don't remember. I don't remember what state it was. I'm just plucking.
It does look like it's
sort
of a blunt sword, sure.
Or it might have been Michigan. I don't remember. But,
well, that one makes less sense. But
they turned an entire state into a weapon, and then the next chapter, it's like, wait, they're using the New York sword. What happened to the sword? Like, it sort of feels like the writer Tatsuki Fujimoto, the genius that he is, kind of like didn't have part 2 planned out at all. Because, like I said, just plot points get dropped like nothing. Characters disappear. It's so weird. At the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna lie, I am disappointed in the manga's run. Because, like, I remember talking about Chainsaw Man Part 1 back when this was Quarantine Chronicles, I think? Or it might have been one of the other iterations of this podcast that we had. And, like, Part 1 is so special to me. It's, like, one of my favorite pieces of media. And Part 2 of Chainsaw Man doesn't undo it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really add too much to it either. You can absolutely stop at Part 1 and have like a great time, or you can say like, screw it, I'll read Part 2, and you'll have a good time here and there. But at the end of the day, you're probably going to be treated to a very polarizing ending, and that's what at the end of the day is a little bit more disappointing to me. What's really funny is that a lot of people were coping. There's two sides of the camp, right? Where it's like, oh, Tatsuki Fujimoto was a hack and blah blah blah. But then you have the other camp that is reacting the same way that people react to Kanye West nowadays, where it's like, no, he made Graduation. He's still like a genius. Where in Tatsuki Fujimoto's case, it's like, no, he made Look Back and he made Goodbye Eri. You know, these two like really really great one shots. But yeah, Chainsaw Man. Unfortunately, it stuck the landing, but it was so sloppy getting there, and I think that unfortunately overpowers how well that landing stuck. At least personally with me, and obviously to like a lot of readers. A lot of readers have delved into like the meaning of the ending and stuff like that more, and that stuff makes sense. But I still can't like just not think about how sloppy it got there. So yeah, that's Chainsaw Man, or at least Chainsaw Man's finale.
Is there any like background rumblings of drama involving its end? Because like 1 week, no real like planning. It seems like loose plots. It seems like maybe something happened in the background,
so
like corporate wise or something.
A lot of it has to do with a lot of scheduling. Like these mangaka who not only just write the series but also draw it. They're under like severe crunch, and a lot of these people do employ assistants. But I don't know I don't know if Tatsuki had any assistants during part 2. Like the art considerably shifted to like very detailed to like very crude. And it gave part 2 like a specific a distinctive art style for sure. But like if you put part 1 and part 2 like side by side, like panels, you'd be like, there's no way this is the same manga. Like mangas typically tend to improve in their art style as opposed to
right.
sort of devolve. I think, and I believe this too, I think he just got tired of writing this, quite honestly.
That's kind of what it sounds like. If there's not drama, it sounds like it's just not burnout. But
he got tired of drawing it for sure, because he has been on record of saying like, hey, for my next like manga, I just want to write. I don't want to draw. And he has a one shot that he wrote and somebody else drew. So in that specific case, I think that it is that. And like I said, with JJK, it had a sequel, and the writer and artist of JJK 1 just wrote JJK 2 with somebody else taking those duties. So a lot of it does have to do with like some people would just rather write than draw.
Right.
So I think that as far as like why we only got like 1 week, why we only got 1 week of notice, that I can't really tell you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Peculiar all around, but interesting.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if part 2 just doesn't ever get an anime adaptation. I think they probably just ended at part 1, quite honestly.
Which is
and
where
from what you're saying about
ended?
Huh? No, Resi Arc is like not even the middle of JJK. No, it's about the middle of part 1. Sorry, not JJK.
And from what you're saying about part 2 maybe not being needed as much, maybe it's not a big loss if it doesn't get an anime adaptation. It's still
don't get me wrong, like part 2 does have some really cool stuff in it. It does, but the final arc, if you could call it that, just is so weirdly paced, and yeah.
What if the anime does its own thing for the
like
last?
anime
just riffs?
Yeah, anime adaptation. And just like kind of
that was tough.
make it good.
Make it good. Like I don't. For as not great as I think part 2 is, I wouldn't want them to do it without his involvement. This is gonna sound really stupid for me to say, but I think he's sort of the Kojima of manga, where he's just doing whatever he really wants to, and a lot of the stuff doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, he's kind of a genius. Like he's crazy in that aspect.
Interesting.
I get what that means, like that, or like a Tarantino of movies type of vibe. Like there's some people that just they do weird stuff, but not all of it hits. But when it hits, and they're good.
Yeah,
at it.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. That
And
makes
part
sense.
1 hit, and part 2 unfortunately didn't. Which like now people are like calling him into question. Like, yeah, to a degree, I understand why, but he also made Look Back. He also made Goodbye Eri. He also made part 1. He also made Fire Punch. He's got like all of a sudden they want to like destroy him just because the ending didn't live up to the heights of part 1.
Right.
What was the Amazon one called?
So that's half of your corner, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
also
that's
had-
that's half of my quarter. Yeah.
Not to cut you off, just I'm making sure I.
No,
not
yeah,
missing anything. Go carry on.
I'm completely done. I'm completely done with Chainsaw Man. I still
In
plan on
every
getting
sense.
Chainsaw Man. No. I still love the series. I'm still gonna watch the hell out of whatever they do end up adapting. I do plan on getting a Chainsaw Man tattoo at some point in my life. But yeah, that's all Chainsaw Man. My other
Cheetah
half
in
of
your
my
hand.
that'd be. I don't know if I can pull that off. But anyways, the other half.
Correct,
Jujutsu
position. Sorry.
Jujutsu Kaisen, season 3, The Culling Game Part 1. Okay. Whew, the soju's definitely hitting.
You made it pretty smoothly through Chainsaw Man in your.
The Culling Game arc of JJK is probably my least favorite arc in the series. And spoilers, it's the second to last major arc of JJK. The Culling Games arc is when JJK sort of fully embraces itself as the hype moments in Aura manga, where character development is a rare occurrence, and it's when the story just turns to slop. I'm hesitant to say that it's like JJK at its best and its worst, because I actually think the following arc might have it beat on both of those fronts. But either way, the previous arc, the Shibuya Incident arc, I think was truly the series' peak. Even though I can acknowledge that Shibuya has even like less character development than the final 2 arcs of the series. But anyways, the anime adaptation of the Culling Game, done by MAPPA, who adapted the previous 2 seasons and adapted Chainsaw Man and Attack on Titan. They've got a bunch of good stuff under their belt. But the anime adaptation of this arc does like almost nothing to fix any of the problems of the arc. The writing still kind of sucks. Character motivations are questionable, and a lot of the arc is just still like just fight scene after fight scene. That being said, MAPPA injected some sort of sauce into this adaptation that hits so hard that it makes this mediocre arc look like the Sistine Chapel of anime. There are multiple episodes in the season that are theatrical release quality. There are scenes that get me pumping my fist in the air by how good this season looks. And it's not just based on like the animation of the series, it's the direction. The direction of the season is insane. It's almost like an experimental indie movie at some points. There's a scene in the 5th episode, I believe, that takes place in a small room, and it's just framed from a single camera angle while 2 characters are talking that lasts like 5 minutes. But the way that it's framed and the subtle movements that they give the characters and the lighting of the shot ramp up the tension of the scene to like, it's like, oh man, this looks insane. The 4th episode is basically a love letter to the Yakuza fight scene from Kill Bill, down to the music, which is like, which also the music in the season is insane. The final episode, which literally just aired yesterday, is just a a sort of Mappa putting its dick on the table and saying like, yeah, my shit is bigger than yours. Like, there's not a single anime adaptation that I think does battle shonen better than JJK. Like just straight up. There's some incredibly visually stunning scenes in the season of anime. Which it has caught some flack from some people because some people just want a straight up like manga, like panel 1-to-1 adaptation. And the director of the season, who goes by Gosho, as the fans call him, he's more interested in making something more visually appealing than just doing a 1-by-1, which I'm completely fine with. He also directed season 2, but season 2 was definitely closer to 1-to-1, like panel to anime adaptation. And some scenes do get recontextualized a little bit differently by the way that he directs the season. But there are rumors that he will not be returning for season 4. So whoever is replacing him has some big shoes to fill. Because quite honestly, the direction of the season is the only thing that is keeping me watching it. Especially with this arc in particular, because I like I said, it's my least favorite arc. So if season 4, which presumably is the Culling Game Part 2, is just a straight up manga adaptation with like little to no flair and just good animation, then I'm probably not going to really bother with the rest of the series. Because like a theoretical season 5 of JJK is JJK at its absolute best and its worst. And like there's only so much that I can handle with JJK that at least if it's got some like directorial flair, I will be there. But if Gosho is gone, then it's just gonna be a pretty good like bare bones action anime, and I need a little bit more than that. But as far as as this third season of JJK is concerned, 9.8 out of 10, like almost flawless season of anime. The only flaws that I give it is the fact that it's adapting some pretty subpar material, but damn, it doesn't look good.
Which I guess makes sense for an anime in a way that you want to look good if it's an adaptation. So at least it gets that part right.
Yeah, there's some awesome
The gifts I
stuff
seen
in this season
of it are
Yeah,
super insane.
just
Also,
yeah,
like that
it's
one
like-
clip got like super memes and super popular, where like the dude like combs his hair with his hand.
oh yeah. That's the first episode of the season.
Oh, that was the first episode. Damn, these
That's the first episode. yeah, and they keep going. Like, season 2 was definitely like a, hey, we're gonna make this fight scene look good, and every episode looked better and better and better and better. While this season, it's almost like every episode looks as good as the best episode from season 2, but you know, like the directorial little touches that I'm talking about just like elevate it. Like I said, I think it's probably the best directed anime I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's pretty cool.
Which is high praise given how much you've watched over the years.
Yeah, like I think Chainsaw Man the movie has better animation overall, but the direction of JJK season 3 I think like overtakes. It's definitely better direction than the movie. I don't know, this man, the direction of the season is so good. I have to give it to Gosho. He's cooking like crazy.
Gojo, Jogo, Shogo on.
Yeah.
Damn.
Shoko. Let me see who else. It's Gojo, Jogo, Shoko, Gosho. Trying to think of another O. Uro. That's that character that just got introduced yesterday.
I don't really like
that
their
might be it.
I don't really like those names. But
That's a Gege Akutami for you.
well, definitely still makes me curious to check it out one day. But I don't know.
Quite honestly, the like I would only show you the fight scenes because the story, especially during the culling games, is so nonsensical that it's just like, I just want. I would rather just show you the good looking stuff.
Maybe we could do that one
than,
night.
like the series.
Just the good stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be down
The
for a
good
just the
episodes.
good stuff evening. Yeah.
All right, that works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds cool.
Speaking of the good stuff, we have one more topic that I know is also good stuff because I saw it with Angel. But Angel, do you want to talk about hoppers?
Oh, I thought this was Obis.
Hopper? You saw it with me too first, remember? We've all seen it. Okay, fine. Let me back that up. Do Elvis and Angel collectively want to talk about hoppers? And I can chime in. I can hop in with a few thoughts.
No, but yeah, I'm down. So, yeah, let me hop right to it.
I just made the exact pun you made. You can't. You have to come up with something else.
Well, let me hop right to it.
No, that's the...
All right, hopping on. So, yeah, I think hoppers. I don't want to say too much, just because I feel like it's a movie that is not that you have to go super blind, but just in general, like the less you know, the better. It's just it's
For
what
sure.
like coming from Pixar, especially, like hasn't necessarily had the biggest track record or the best track record, I would say, lately. Like they have some good stuff, like Inside Out 2, and then I'm trying to remember what came out right before that, but I think the fact that I'm starting to remember is kind of proving my point. I think, like, in general, I just haven't really been excited to see a Pixar movie in a while, and that kind of includes this one. Like, honestly, the first trailer kind of turned me off from the movie, and I was like, I don't know if I want to... Like, it just seemed a little kind of cringe comedy. But I don't know. I think it was literally, like after a week that it came out, word of mouth was just kind of spreading like, oh, it's like, don't go off the trailer. It kind of got Transformer 1, where a lot of the jokes are kind of taken out of context. And
Quick clarity. One as in one ONE, not the first Michael Bay Transformers.
yeah, the animated Transformers 1 movie,
Yeah.
not
Transformers 1, not Transformers 1.
I'm pretty sure. I trust that the audience did not get confused at all.
I don't know. It's always worth clarifying when the names are identical.
Let me hop back on the impressions. So
We already made that. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And yeah, so so I did initially check it out with Jason and another friend, and yeah, it definitely caught me by surprise. Like word of mouth, like got me to watch the movie, and it was just like a lot of fun. And I had also already had plans to watch it with my siblings. It ultimately just became my brother and I, and it was still just a lot of fun. Like it was just a kind of humor that just really like gelled with me. It was emotional. It was a little bit of everything. It was good.
It's
And
very like what you.
very
It's like
fresh.
classic Pixar in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic Pixar and vibes, fresh in attitude.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah,
I
like
definitely
without
recommend.
again,
I would check it out if you're unsure. I think that alone is enough worth watching, especially because it's kind of hard to judge like if everyone will find the kind of humor or the way it escalates like funny, or if it will jibe with them until you just watch it for yourself. Like it's
the less
you're either going to be on
the
board with
better.
it, or you're going to be like, this is too much or something. I don't know. But yeah, like,
Exactly. No, but yeah, the less you know, the better.
Jason
But
gets that
definitely
reference.
but the escalation of hoppers is one that is very entertaining. I'm trying not to say too much, but it goes places that you would not necessarily think. So I agree with Angel not to say much more than that because going in blind helps, but it is a very fun movie. And if you're thinking, gee, isn't this just the plot of Avatar? It's about a human that kind of puts their brain into another creature. They directly address the fact that you think that within like the first 15 minutes of the movie. Like verbatim, they call out Avatar. So,
yeah, it's also in the trailer.
so don't let that
Yeah,
hold you
also-
back if it looks like a knockoff of Avatar because they address it.
But does that make it any better? Just because they addressed it?
No, I'm just saying it's self-aware a little. But yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah. I mean, not.
And you know what was interesting about it? It didn't have a short before it. When did Pixar stop doing that?
Oh, didn't even notice, but that is true. I mean,
I only
Disney
just now
and
realized
Pixar
it as we're
movies
discussing
typically
it.
have a short. But yeah, this one didn't. The only other little anecdotal thing I'll note is that the first time I watched Hoppers was also the first time in a long time, because I haven't been going to Comic-Con, that I got to experience what Jason going full.
I know where this is going.
What full Jason is like. When Jason
Are
is
we
just like
bookending?
when Jason is just like
bookending my Mario Galaxy hype here.
yeah, when
from the
like
start of the episode?
Jason gets this like so fully activated. Like, to kind of give you an idea, we were gonna meet like our friend at the theater because they were just running like 30 minutes behind us, and I was like, all right, we'll just find them somewhere in the mall. And then as we're approaching the mall, like I think Jason was asking me like, oh yeah, so how was your day or something, and I think I was gonna like talk about like my dad or something, and then I kind of got through a little bit of it before he interrupted me. They're like, wait, what's that up there? And then he was like, that's like a Luma, like inflatable thingy.
Guys, you don't understand. It was a giant inflatable Luma, huge, on the roof of the mall. And at night, the Luma illuminated. But I didn't even know it was there. This was like 2 days after the Mario Day presentation. So who would have thought the marketing would kick in that fast?
So like
Carry on.
30-minute detour later of Jason taking pictures across the street, like below different angles. My friend like messages me like, hey, where are you guys at? Like, he made it to the theater ahead of us, even though we were like way ahead. So then we started walking to the theater, like, all right, we'll meet them like at the Apple store. And as we're heading to the Apple store, I just kind of let Jason like lead, because I kind of knew where it was, but I wasn't sure if it was like, you know, a left or a right at any given turn. And then at some point I find that we're going like up an escalator, and I'm all like, what the heck? Like, I thought it was on the first floor. And then Jason's just like beelining it to like a balcony to like take more pictures of the freaking Luma. And I'm like, damn, like, you know, it was quite the experience. Like, pretty much like any sentence involving Jason had something to do with the Luma for the rest of the day. Even like
Not the rest of the day, just 80 to 90%.
or the Instagram post regarding said Luma and
It
how
wasn't even Instagram. I didn't even put it on Instagram.
or Threads or
Speaking of Luma.
Twitter. Especially because like you took pictures at night, like, oh man, should I have taken the pictures in the morning because now it's lit up, and you know, it was fun. It was fun.
I didn't expect them to light it internally. So that Luma, that same Luma, is now at Hollywood and Vine here in LA, and I went and saw it there. They don't light it internally. They only lit it internally for like the 1 week it was on the roof of this mall. And they have one in New York as well at the Today Show Plaza on the Today Show, and it was during the day, so it wasn't lit up. So the only place to see a fully illuminated,
Luma.
fully
Yeah.
lit.
inflated Luma was the roof of this mall for approximately 7 to 8
And
to
inflated
9 maybe
illuminated.
days. The
Speaking of
inflated illuminated Luma.
Speaking of Illuminated is lit. So
What?
we get who else is lit? Your
Oh.
boy. We just hit the 2-hour mark, fellas. That's another shot. Shadow clock. Am I right, fellas? Cheers, boys.
I ran out of my bubbly, by which I again mean the non-alcoholic, not champagne.
Yeah.
The best
damn.
part it could, you know, I wish we could do like onomatopoeia for like this episode title, because whatever noise Kevin just made should just be the episode
The
title. I don't
waveforms
know
are
how-
going crazy, let me tell you.
I don't know how we write. I don't know how we write that as the title.
I'm sorry,
but
listener.
yes, Elvis Angel did see me in my most brand activated, and that experience you had, Angel, is essentially how I've been with every Mario Galaxy movie thing since that has happened.
So
If I see a billboard, I'm like, ooh. If I see a building size ad, I'm like, ooh. If I see Lumas in Hollywood, ooh.
Have you
If I
been
see a
to-
bus, ooh.
have you passed
If I
by,
see
Citadel?
Feastables, ooh. I know they have them there. I need to find an excuse to come
yeah,
that
because
way.
on when I was just driving back
know.
home, I was like,
I was-
whoa, that's
yeah.
kinda cool.
Yeah.
I didn't really.
Yeah,
I
they have
didn't.
all the
I
character
tried not to look at it too
posters,
much,
yeah.
but like it was hard to not acknowledge that. Oh yeah, that's
For those at home
lit up.
outside of LA, sorry to cut you off. I was just say for those at home outside of LA, what we're talking about is there's an outlet
Yeah,
mall
sorry.
in the direction of Angel's home. On that outlet mall, they have giant billboards, like huge, like spaced
Notice I
out
never
along
said
the
on
length
the
of mall,
direction to my home
and
at any
each
point.
one is a character poster. What?
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay. Oh, did you want me not to say it's on the way to you? Which I've now said twice. Hey, it's a big freeway. We don't know which way. We don't know how close or far.
You're insane.
I mean, people. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Let's start thing. Your
Anyway,
address.
what a great episode this has been. So anyway, you could find Angel at 52. No.
3.
But yeah, I think
2.
that pretty much does it for this episode in that case, guys. So to do the usual sign, I guess it's me. Right. So if you want to, I don't exactly know when our next episodes go up anymore. So to make sure, like we're still figuring that out, but to make sure you don't miss it, you can subscribe.
Wouldn't they just
to
go up
us
on Tuesday? They could theory go up on the same day.
I don't know. Are they? We haven't discussed it whatsoever. But to make sure
I'll
you
let
don't
you
miss it
and
whenever
Kevin
it is,
decide.
once we figure it out. Yeah, I feel like it's Kevin's editing schedule. But whenever we figure that out, you can find us on your favorite podcast app, Apple Podcasts,
Dude,
Spotify.
should I edit this episode blasted?
Ooh.
Please don't. Please don't. There are limits.
Pokemon impressions. No.
And that's such a
just cut
sincere
all of
please,
Jason
too.
out.
It's all in reverse.
I feel,
I
If
got a
you
little
cut all me out,
experimental
there's
with the
gonna be such
edit
long
this time,
gaps.
fellas.
Yeah, the
The alcohol
anyway.
may have played a role in it.
raise Jason's pitch.
That's how Kevin puts us on the
But
map.
to make me Alvin and the Chipmunks. But to make sure you don't miss whatever this episode becomes, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, YouTube at Ram Nintendo. We're on Twitter at Ram Nintendo. We're individually on the socials too. If you want to see our reaction, should this episode be a total train wreck, I am JSR7 on Threads and Twitter. Angel is World of Weros on Instagram. Kevin is KVN Gomi on Twitter and Blue Sky. And Elvis, do you still not want to be known?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. Okay, Elvis
That's-
is a mystery.
Twitter, baby.
I didn't say it. I'm innocent. And also, before I throw it to final word, I would like to note, after you guys hounding me about how my computer glitches and we have to stop the episodes in the middle all the time, quote unquote, didn't have to do it today. So take that. And with that,
Doesn't justify it.
well, it's just not all the time.
Yeah, that just
But
that
with-
gives them an excuse to not buy another. I get the MacBook Neo.
But I'm going to wait for the new fancier pros in the fall.
Get the.
I think.
They're not going to have the touch bar anymore, Jason. It's gone. It's
But
gone
they have
forever.
full touch screen. They have dynamic islands. I love the dynamic island.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
Also, just because it didn't happen today,
We'll hash
doesn't
this
get you
out.
off the hook.
It's a dynamic islands.
Yeah.
wait, the dynamic island's a little pill thing on top of an iPhone is coming to the max. Anyway,
It's not
we
gonna
need to
piss
wrap
us-
this up,
it's
you
It's not going
guys.
to piss us off any less when
I'll
it
show it to
happens
you. It's on my
next
phone.
week. Like, oh, it didn't happen last week, so we're good this week.
But my credibility of it being a constant problem when it's only a semi-constant problem has been restored.
It's
You know
so
what, I'm
it
taking
happens
it
just
over.
infrequent enough to be really annoying. If it was more frequent, yeah.
So with that,
Cheers, fellas. Take another shot.
Let me give-
that's our final word. Cheers, fellas. He's taking another shot.
Ah.